But now it looks like everything is stable. Finally. We'll see how long that holds. Anyway. And the title fades out dramatically after the rest of the screen. That's an achievement, really? Before she realized it, the girl was standing before an imposing door. And what do I have? Quick save, load, auto, skip, graphic. Graphic of black. Okay. I guess that just takes it. Okay, that just takes the text down. Log. You get an achievement for just... I have concerns now. I have concerns about this game. The girl occasionally came to Manton Aquarium alone. She watched the manta rays, she watched jellyfish, and finally she decided it was time to go home. Where is this? She had her doubts, but there should be nothing else there except for the aquarium. She assured herself that she probably had wandered off into a side path. The door before her had a large padlock hanging from it. Just as she'd heard, it was unlocked and merely dangling there. The girl drew in a breath. I guess this is where space jellyfish come from. Could be. Being locked would usually mean that it was a place you shouldn't enter. Being open just meant that a staff member had forgotten to lock it, so going in was out of the question. Or was it? Her curiosity piqued. She was past the point of persuasion. P. Her imagination ran wild, and her mind raced at the prospect of what might lay beyond the door. Just for a little bit. We're in an aquarium. I'm not sure if that's a door creaking or, something making noise. She opened the door and saw lots of glass tanks. Several types of fish hailing from the deep seas, from football fish and oarfish to pelican eels and barrel eyes, were swimming about. Why isn't this an exhibit? It would only cost your soul. She thought it over, wondering why this would be in a closed-off area. Behind her, the door shut on its own. Okay. Yeah. That's okay. Tapping the scroll wheel does that. The girl spaced out, staring at the deep sea fish swimming about. They would leap from the tank and swim in midair. That's disturbing. The entirety of the room was the fish in their ocean. Though it was a natural occurrence, the girl treated it as quite normal. Is this part of the game supposed to be pure black graphics? Should I be seeing something here? I mean, is the game messed up? I mean, I've run into that before. Don't remember how to fix it with a game like this. Huh. Wasn't there originally a deep-sea fish booth that was shut down? Stare into the abyss. Oh, good. We get our first scene in its veins. She suddenly remembered. At that moment, her surroundings were dyed a deep red. The water in the tanks, fluorescent lights, all of it was red. The girl's vision also became red because blood was pouring over her eyes. When she opened her eyes, the girl was back in her own room. It was well into the night. She couldn't remember how she'd gotten home after all of that. But more importantly, she had a bad feeling about something else. I need to close that. It isn't red here. She became aware of how hard it suddenly was to breathe. No matter how she gasped, she was unable to get oxygen into her body. And I think I'm going to need to take a break early tonight to get more to drink. You know, the way this is going, what on earth may not be the appropriate question? I'm just saying. Excuse me. Something's sticking in my throat. Like the fish who couldn't breathe anywhere but in the water. She couldn't breathe unless she was inside that red color. She was convinced. On impulse, she threw open the window, leaned out, and thrust a hand outside. She couldn't inhale the wind flooding her room. She could only smell its milky and pleasant scent. More. At that moment, the girl's body was tossed into the air. For just a second, her body seemed to float like a fish in the sea. Her room was on the 12th floor of her apartment building. In her fading consciousness, the girl watched her blood flow endlessly from her body. It's red. Only then could she breathe. Now everything would be fine. The girl smiled. The full moon in the night sky smiled too. You aren't the only one that has questions. Drip, drip. The sound of falling drops. The moon was concealed behind the clouds, and all of the lights in the town were covered in water. The sound of it the only thing left to resonate. She couldn't tell whether it was hot or cold, merely that the humid air was encircling her. Drip, drip. Wherever they were falling to, wherever they were falling from, the drops just continued to trickle out. Except that one, which froze in midair. That single drop. I stopped it with both hands. The sound of that solitary red drop. And now we're in school. Or at least there's an urban legend that goes like that. Talking about Mountain Aquarium again? That's your new thing, isn't it? While stuffing her lunch into her mouth. Tamagawa. That text is kinda difficult to read at my resolution with this background color. Tamagawa Himeno spoke, her eyes sparkling. I had no idea which point in the story got her so excited. That's right, isn't this the scariest part? The girl jumped to her death, smiling after coming back from Mountain Aquarium? It's pretty bad. Yet you don't seem the least bit scared, Himeno. I'm gonna butcher these names all night long. That's not true, I've got chills running down my spine. Someone who's got chills running down her spine wouldn't be eating a pastry so cheerfully. I wouldn't be so sure about that. And hey, that's my meatball. During a break in the conversation, Himeno stole a side dish from my box lunch. This mincemeat from growing calves and little piglets. It's the best. Why do you have to put it like that? Geez, why do you have to make me lose my appetite? I'll give you the rest of it. Alright, I'll take it. I'd buy that for $1. Yoink. Himeno takes the rest of the meatballs from my lunch with amazing rhythm. Stream, behave yourself. The reason that I, Nakanobi Mayumi, lost my appetite wasn't because Himeno's story scared me. Mountain Aquarium and I are connected in a way that I'd rather not think about. Of course, Himeno has no idea about that connection. If she knew, she'd never mention Mountain Aquarium around me again. At the same time, I've been afraid that this thing might cause Himeno to stop talking to me. Himeno is pretty much my only friend. I must refer to them by their first names only and never actually say she or anything like pronouns ever again, apparently. It isn't that I have to talk to anyone since entering junior high, it's just the only person I can actually call a friend is Himeno. Seriously, I think this whole Mountain Aquarium rumor obsession is getting to be a bit much. Maybe. There's only so many rumors, though. Like that there's a man's ghost in the tanks, that the deep-sea fish booth is only open on the full moon, that the water changes into blood, or that you can hear crying from behind the tanks. That earlier one goes with this one. Also... Yeah, that's fine. You don't need to say any more. I say firmly, causing Himeno to make a sour face. Soon after, Himeno changes the subject, first to a TV drama that aired the night before, then to some cute fake nails with cats on them she found in a magazine. Fake nails with cats. Sounds like something my daughter would actually be interested in, really. She then talks about a classmate who was dating a boy from a nearby private school, alighting on one subject before quickly changing to the next. Normally, the subject of Mountain Aquarium shouldn't have popped up again. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about earlier, god damn it, you had to curse it. Huh? What exactly are we getting back to? Mountain Aquarium. I looked into it, and this Sunday will be a full moon. Eh? That was all I could say, the rest of my words unable to come out. So, we should go and see if the rumors are true or not. But... I know you aren't interested in stuff like urban legends, Mayu. But next week, we'll start preparing for the end of semester, and I won't be able to hang out with you. Lately, we haven't gone anywhere together, have we? If the full moon was next Sunday, I'm sure Himeno wouldn't have said anything. But I suspect because it happens to be this Sunday and next week happens to be our exams, she's chosen Mountain Aquarium. I know that I'm not hiding my confusion or my hesitation very well. Even so, Himeno turns her carefree grin my way. Since it's an aquarium, even if the rumors aren't true, we can still have fun, right? Well, that's true. Usually, anywhere I go with Himeno, I have fun. Whether or not we'd have fun was not what I was worried about. By the way, Mayu, in the east building of Mountain Aquarium, they have a Haagen-Dazs. Is that like Haagen-Dazs made with... Is that like Dippin' Dots made with Haagen-Dazs? That's where I was trying to go. Yeah, but we don't need space jellyfish. As in the Eden restaurant? They had closed up at one point, but it looks like they're reopening for a limited time. Really? Really? They have the cookies and cream flavor just like you like too, Mayu. Of course I hesitate, but in the end, that settles it. Then we'll go, as long as we definitely get some cookies and cream. Saying you have no money because you did too much shopping is out of the question. I know, after all, I'm something of a glutton myself. Fine, fine. In the end, we settle on Mountain Aquarium and ice cream for Sunday. Since I've already received my reward money for moving on to the next grade, I don't need to worry about my allowance. I wonder why they were closed too. Haagen-Dazs and Dippin' Dots just don't combine. Still, it's been 5 years. Did you say something, Mayu? Nope, nothing. I bite my tongue, covering the words that had carelessly spilled out. I'm looking forward to the aquarium. It's probably been about 10 years. I'm looking forward to the cookies and cream. It's probably been about 10 years. That's not true. It's the truth. It's the only thing I'll eat there. Himeno goes, "You little," as she playfully stretches my cheeks. The end of lunch chime sounds, and Himeno goes back to her own seat. If it's with Himeno, I'll be fine. That's what I told myself at the time. Nice dramatic bring in of the logo and fade out. Just a second, folks. And the game has gone entirely silent on me. Sunday is 3 days after that. The day I promised to go with Himeno to Monton Aquarium has arrived. We are to meet at noon at the Monton Show station. As is customary for me, I arrived 30 minutes early. Leaning against a pillar, I do nothing but space out. That would explain it. That would explain it. And just out of curiosity, is there any actual gameplay in this? Because we've been going for a little while and haven't gotten anything except text. Not that I mind reading. Progress. That is the banner. Or the ad, anyway. And yeah, I will be right back. I need more to drink. And I come back to a cat in my chair. Not Blackjack, but a cat in my chair. Hi, cat. Hello, Sir Pounce. The troll of the cat group, Sir Pounce. Can I have my chair back, please? I say that, and he immediately scooches his back up against the backrest and digs in with his claws. You want belly rubs? Yes and no. You kinda do, but you kinda don't. Is that what this is? Yes, Kitty loves a warm chair. That was Sir Pounce, if you heard that. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. I know you didn't mean it, but you managed to snag me. Ow. Starry, if you're coming in here, hurry up. I'm losing some blood to that cat, though. It did a little play swipe at me and actually hooked my finger, hooked the skin of one of my calluses with the claw. And me going ow prompted it to get scared and run. Sir Pounce doesn't actually like hurting, I've noticed. If he actually does hurt you, he retreats pretty quickly. Blah. Okay, leaning against a pillar, I do nothing but space out. Tons of people pass before me. Monton is really crowded on days off. Even so, there aren't really that many families or groups of students, everyone around me appearing to be adults. Because of that, I quickly begin to feel uneasy. Within this crowd, I am alone. Inexplicably, my head begins to hurt. And I need to close this. Because my video is done processing. There. See if that stabilizes anything. I wonder if Himeno will be here soon. I mutter to myself, then look at my shoes. Okay, those are shoes. I thought for a second they might have actually been boots. They are boots. Okay. Funky boots. You know, when I think boot, I don't think something that reveals my toes and my heels. I'm just saying. Deep blue sandal boots that were this year's newest product. When Mom and I had stopped off at the department store on Saturday, she bought them for me after some coaxing on my part. Her foot's broken? I don't know, it just looks like she's turned her hip in and she just turned her hip in. If you look at the line of her leg, her knee is pointing out this direction too, so no, her foot's fine. They were far from what you'd call high quality, but they were still a bit pricey on a junior high schooler's allowance. Of course, that doesn't mean her hip's not broken, but you know. I'm not usually the type to beg, but I couldn't take my eyes off the boots. My mom bought them with almost no resistance, saying, "You're going out of town, so you need to look your best." I like both their form and their color, and found them a better fit for the summer season than anything else. I take my cell phone out and check the time. There's still 15 minutes to go until we're to meet. Since Himeno is always 3 minutes later than the time we establish, I've got about another 20 minutes. I finished reading my paperback on the train, so I have nothing to kill time with. You could always stare at the advertisement screen. That'll take up a minute or two. There's nothing I can do about it, so I decide to keep myself from boredom by watching the people passing by. If I don't keep myself distracted, horrible thoughts will revive in my mind. Also, something you can do for distraction, get yourself a fidget cube. Those things are useful. I'm always worrying about what will happen if I'm late, though. It had actually been about a month and a half since Himeno and I had gone out. We always talked at school, but rarely spent time together afterwards. Anyone who saw us probably thought we were opposites. Outings like this aside, I often spend my days off at home. When I was in elementary school, our family would go out often, but lately that's been limited to dining out on Saturdays. So when I'm asked what I do when I stay home, I usually just say I do nothing. Doing homework and watching TV is stuff that seems pretty common to me. On the other end of the spectrum is Himeno, who goes out regularly. You know, going out every week is regular. It's not frequent, but it is regular. I often hear stories of when she went to karaoke on weeknights or how she traveled out of town on Sundays. She's a member of an active sports club and often wants to hang out with them afterwards. Going out of town on the already limited days we have off tends to make me think, even though it's a day to rest, I don't feel rested at all. In other words, something like this is the difference between Himeno and I. In other words, you are an introvert and she is an extrovert. Without much common ground between us, why I became friends is... Insert Metal Gear alert sound here. Suddenly, the light fades from my vision. It wasn't just that it had become dark, but that I had the sensation of being unable to breathe. But rather than sweating it, I get a little mad. Sorry. Hearing my wordless protest, Himeno pulled her hands away. I get playing the who am I game while covering someone's eyes, but covering someone's mouth too was just like Himeno. Excuse me folks, I got something up in my soft palate that just doesn't want to come down, and as I talk it rolls around a little bit. Totally disgusting, but something I would definitely want to clear up with a hot shower or something later. When I puff out my cheeks and object, Himeno just smiles at me. It's because you were staring into space, Mayu. Ah. Instead of apologizing, Himeno blew on the nape of my neck. Without thinking, I made a weird sound. Embarrassed, I looked around 2 or 3 times, but the pedestrians walking by seemed unperturbed and didn't even look our way. The culprit who had surprised me moves in front of me before I realize it. You're mean, Himeno. But I get to hear something good. No, you didn't. Moreover, you're... As I say that, I check the time on my smartphone. You have a smartphone, and yet you were bored. You know, plenty of free apps out there, I'm just saying. It's 3 minutes to noon, our agreed upon meeting time. It's not time yet. How rare. That's rude, jeez. I'll make you make a weird noise again. Saying that, Himeno opens or closes her fingers in small, swift, grasping motions. At times like this, I know I better change the subject or get messed with by Himeno again. Let's not dwell on that too long. Oh, by the way, did you buy a new one? You mean my necktie? Yes, I did. I thought I should get one to match my shorts. You and I haven't hung out since around midterms, Mayu. If I buy something today, I'll really be out of money. What about the aquarium? You're still set on finding out about the urban legends then? Of course! That's my #1 goal. But as usual, I can't count the things I want to do on just one hand. Okay, I get it. As long as I eat cookies and cream, that is absolute. I haven't forgotten. Anyway, Mayu, aren't your sandals new? Good grief. Himeno says as she looked at my feet, talking about 3 times as fast as she does in class. Yeah, nice, aren't they? They're super cute. Oh, cool. I want a pair too. Okay, level with me here. Were women involved in the writing of this? I'm asking because we're pretty stereotypical, girl talk in a lot of this. Nope, then we'll be too similar, and these are the only pair of sandals I have for the summer. Talking like this, it put me at ease. Unlike myself, who is childish, Himeno knows a lot about fashion and trends. Even here in Monton, it seems like she blends in. Most importantly, by being with Himeno and constantly chatting, I no longer feel lonely. Oh yeah, Himeno, why did you bring such a huge bag? Gotta stuff the body somewhere. I'm glad you asked. With a hee-hee, Himeno opens up the Boston bag she had let sink down from her shoulder. A variety of things comes out, such as a flashlight, insect repellent, simple blanket, first aid kit, matches, and snacks, like chocolate and cookies. What is all this? Himeno, where do you plan on going? Ignoring the twitch developing in my face, Himeno thumps her chest. Jeez, to the aquarium. But since we're investigating urban legends, we should at least have some supplies. Rather than investigation, the equipment she has reminds me more of going camping in the mountains. The snacks and blanket aside, we're in a city this size who need insect repellent or a flashlight. I keep those feelings to myself and just smile. I let out a breath that is half exasperated, half amused. I don't get sick of being with Himeno. Whether Himeno is aware of my exasperated gaze or not, she starts to take something out, then quickly shoves it back in. She gives me a smile, implying some secret. Ah, no, wait! It's too soon for you to see that! What were you about to pull out? I'm not telling. Upon saying that, Himeno quickly closes the bag. The way I see it, it's a wonder she fit all the supplies she had out just a moment ago. I wonder where it's all being stored. Hammer space! We hit that trope long ago. You should know that. You should recognize that one, folks. By the way, no club today? I ask with the underlying question of whether or not today is the day off for the club. At my question, Himeno averts her eyes. Nope. Probably. No club today. Really? As I disappear off into the distance, giving a brief answer, I start walking. Upon hearing her reply, I immediately understand it as, she skipped it again, but not wanting to ruin the merry mood, I merely quicken my pace. I'm not in any clubs, but even I know it's not good to skip. Yeah, you did not need to hear that. Hello, Lady Mage. I've explained where we are so far, but even I'm not really sure myself. It started out with them telling a kind of spooky urban legend story about an aquarium, and now two girls are on a trek to that aquarium. Because it's a full moon and there's something weird about it. Also, very important boots. Very important boots. Your brother's birthday, huh? 50 years old. Ooh. I don't look forward to being that age myself. Speaking honestly, I want her to show up for her club. She seems to be respected by even students from other clubs. Coming here together like this makes me equally guilty, though. Once I get thinking, I don't usually stop, so the conversation shifts to a ramen shop that catches my eye. I would have been much better prepared to read in this game if I didn't look at this game earlier and think, oh, it's an RPG Maker game. I thought this was RPG Maker. I didn't think it was graphic novel. Or virtual novel in this case. So I was not prepared for massive amounts of reading. That's why I keep, that's why I've cut the mic a couple times so I can hack and cough my way to clearing some stuff out there. Once I get thinking, I don't usually stop, so the conversation shifts to a ramen shop that catches my eye. Oh, Mayu, do you want to get lunch? Huh? You caught that. Feeling as if she has seen right through me, we head into a nearby coffee shop. I know it's on the Steam page, but I wanted to go in as blind as possible. It is, apparently, famous following its coverage in a magazine for a sandwich that was overflowing with vegetables. I say apparently because on excitedly finding the restaurant, Himeno shared this. Compared to a hamburger shop, this place is a bit intimidating and trendy to me, but since I'm with Himeno, it doesn't bother me. This like the Phoenix Wright hamburgers, I take it? Shoving the roast chicken sandwich with extra olives that I ordered in my mouth, the unease I have been feeling disappears. In contrast to my fervor, Himeno eats her avocado and shrimp sandwich in small bites. Ocean croissing? Is that what that says on the window? Ocean croissing? I don't think it's RPG Maker. It just looked like one from the title screen. That's what I was saying. I opened it up to look at it and make sure I could get it in a window and all that, and thought, oh, this looks like an RPG Maker game. Okay. Because I use the same font I see fairly standard on a lot of RPG Maker games. And the same layout for the title screen and all. But yeah, the series, does it say Ocean Croissing? Or is that... Oh, okay, that's a U. Cruising. Huh. Well then, about our plans for today. Himeno starts in as soon as we finished eating. We'll start with the aquarium. No matter what, that's the main thing. So we'll look into the old man's ghost and the closed-off deep-sea fish booth rumors. After that, we'll go to the shops and finally have some ice cream. I think it's better to get the cookies and cream first. You and your cookies and cream. If you eat 2 times, you'll mess up your stomach and get fat. You won't be able to wear a bathing suit. Yeah, written my men. Aw, Himeno, it's no fair for you to put it that way. And yes, I saw your bit earlier that the only woman was the programmer, but that kinda seals it. Written by men. It isn't fair. Himeno is in the exercise club, so she'll be fine, but for someone like me who doesn't have exercise enough, it makes me stop and think. Having said I wanted to go to the pool, it's all the more important. Okay then, we'll stick with my plan. That was a delicious meal. As she floats off to heaven. Urged on by Himeno, I decided to leave the ice cream shop for another time. Talking about silly things together, we leave the station behind. As opposed to the station's excellent cooling system, the city streets have a peculiar humidity and heat to them that envelops our bodies. The beginning of July, summer has only just begun, and I can already tell it's going to be a tough one. We weave our way through the crowds until we are 10 minutes away from the station, finally ending up in front of a skyscraper. The building is a symbol for the people of Monton, a combined facility for commerce, what you might call a fashion building in reference to the businesses it contains. Monton is a town known as a place people go for amusement. If you really want to have a good time, they have a movie theater, arcades, and several shops, though you need to have money. Because of that, young men and women are more numerous than boys and girls. In this town of people older than us, Himeno scans the panels for each floor without fear, saying, the aquarium is... People are concentrated around the panels. I hadn't looked, but yeah, that looks like what it says. That's either a G-R-E-A or a capital E-R-E-A with E's having a slightly different font as capitalized. Just 1 second, folks. Of little help to Himeno and trying to take up as little space as possible, I leave the search to her and gaze up at the building. I look up and up, but the top of the building is so far I think my neck will snap. Bend backward at the waist a little, that usually helps. That's magnificent. This building was built not long after I was born. It had been finished before I could walk, but the first and only time I came here was in elementary school. The instant I think back on my first visit, my head begins to hurt. No, I have to try not to think about it. Those are things from long ago, things from the past, things that are done. I can do nothing but deal with the pain that feels as if something's pressing against the inside of my skull. I finally hear Himeno calling to me in a loud voice. "The elevator's this way, come on!" I push away my headache and step through the automatic door. The information at the entrance and placement of the crane game are exactly the same as that day, giving me a slightly bad feeling. Oh god, we're being attacked by sonar. I guess that was the prologue. And when your tears start atomic explosions. You should probably get that looked at. I'm not too worried about the male to female ratio. At least we have been spared the talk about comparing breast sizes. At least we've been spared that. I just cursed it, didn't I? Dang it. From the elevator landing, we needed to head for the top floor of the separate Mountain East building. The elevator is the type that has a glass window so you can see out. That is the only thing that's distracting me from my gloom. That distracts me from my gloom. A crowd of people get on with us, but almost all of them are gone by the time we reach the floor that contains the aquarium. They probably stepped off at the apparel or sundry shops. It isn't that we aren't rested, but Himeno recommends it's crowded now, so let's come back when it's less busy. And that keeps us back, deciding to stick with the plans we made back at the coffee shop. Looks like it's already closed. Looks like we arrived after hours anyway. Stepping onto our floor, the atmosphere immediately switches to a lively one. The sounds of chatter are drowned out by the roar of a large fan. The lighting is dim and tinted slightly blue. The windows are also covered, giving the feeling that it has suddenly become night. As this is an aquarium, it makes sense that the concept is based around the ocean. Yes, the pungent smell of salt is a major change. Amazing, it's like we've dived into the deep sea. That's what I thought too. Instead of being targeted at families, lately it seems more like a date spot for adults. At least that's what the magazine said, but it's true. Even though this is my second time coming here, it feels like the first time. Next to the entrance is a souvenir shop, though it lacks the usual boisterous voices. It appears to be a place that can reach both from the inside and outside, but doesn't seem to get many customers. Just as Himeno had said, the aquarium seems to target adults. In an atmosphere like that, even Himeno looks nervous. Hey, Mayu. What's up? I forgot to tell you one important thing. That look. Himeno makes a mysterious face and brings her mouth up to my ear. What, did you drop your wallet or something? No, that's not it. This is something that I've heard. It's a bit of an urban legend. They say the amount of people going missing is on the rise. There's a rumor that this month alone, the number missing is well into the double digits. Huh? We had this conversation in front of the metal rack that holds a map of the aquarium. Aside from the map, there's a guide to the Montine East building and information about affiliated hotels. During that time, we hear the sound of the elevator opening and closing, but do not see the people going into the aquarium. Montine used to be a shopping district, right? That seems to be why, even if there were a lot of runways, the media wouldn't pay much attention. Why are we here then? Good question. But supposedly many of the missing persons had stopped off at Montine Aquarium. That rumor, who did you hear it from? Who indeed? No one in particular. You know how rumors spread. At Himeno's words, I feel a cold shiver along my spine. Regardless of how credible the rumor is, a sense of dread shoots through me. Considering in my past, it's natural that I feel connected to missing persons in my age range, especially if they are runaways. If that is the case, it would send chills along the back of my neck. Why on earth? You could have told me before this. Well, I thought if you heard about it, Mayu, you might not have wanted to come. You think there might have been a reason she wouldn't want to come? Oh, so you forgetting to tell me was a lie then, you little... I'd intended to protest firmly, but it still ended rather anticlimactically. Ghosts may exist, and they may still be unable to come back, but that doesn't mean I'm interested in visiting places where they are. This is proof that Himeno has her own strange interests, yet it still makes me feel even more worried. This rumor has a continuation. Specifically, people who saw the deep-sea fish booth never came home. Himeno relays those two pieces of information that frighten me with a smile. The rumor itself aside, she wanted to pass over the question of why people were able to see the closed-off deep-sea fish booth in the first place, not wanting to discuss it at all. Oh, I'm sure this is just a slice-of-life game and everything's perfectly safe. Just one second. Wait a minute, Himeno. Something else is tied in beneath that fear. Something about the aquarium and the missing persons who didn't come home. That was, essentially... Man, really, you need to get that antenna fixed. Are you okay, Mayu? Sorry, I guess I scared you a bit too much. I think this story is pretty exaggerated, so don't worry about it. I heard it's a fun aquarium. I think we should take those stories with a grain of salt, right? Though her kindness is misdirected, its kindness just the same. Having involuntarily sat down, I take the hand Himeno extends to me. As I slowly rise to my feet, I respond, yeah, you're right. Stream, behave yourself. The name of the game is called Sound of Drop, Fall into Poison. Sound of Drop was explained earlier by hearing water droplets hit water. Sound of Drop. To think that I would hear of a connection to my precious memory in a place like this. It's strange, after 5 years the memory should have faded. I tell myself this, and let out a small sigh. And the thing is, they haven't really explained what her backstory is completely. They haven't even really explained it briefly. They just explained that doing this is triggering memories of it. Himeno was actually showing concern, so I'd sit down on a bench in the rest area next to the souvenir shop. Himeno even brings me a can of cocoa. As I'm drinking it, she buys our tickets. With her doing all of this, I have to go with her. Are you okay, miss? The fact that I'm thinking thoughts like, this canned cocoa is a little weak, is proof that I'm cooling down. As I'm starting to feel better, a male voice calls out to me. And I'm going to stare at his crotch. While holding my half-finished cocoa, I turn in the direction the voice came from. Rather than the boy's voice I expect, it belongs to an adult, so I respond timidly. I'm okay, so... Phew, no need to be so vigilant. He's wearing a gray knit cap and a brown running shirt. He's tall, even for a guy, so I had to look up at him. His build is almost all muscle, and my shoulders shudder a bit in surprise. He appears well over the age of 20. Well over the age of 20? Sure. I just noticed the music. So I can't think of a reason he would want to talk to us. Whether he realizes I'm looking up at him or not, he plunks down right next to me. Even after he sits down, we aren't sitting at the same height. Pretending to fix my posture, I move away from him a little. That is indeed some funky, fresh music. Are you not feeling well? Oh, good, we get to make a choice here. Hang on. Can we... is quick save just... okay. Dude, you're a creep. According to the game, you've got about... I don't think this is a dating sim, no. I don't. Yeah, we really don't know what this game is. It's just a slice of life game about a couple of girls taking a trip to an aquarium. That's all we know so far. Let's brush this dude off. I'm fine, really. Thanks to my nerves and my wariness, I end up speaking unnaturally fast. Moreover, if he really is a kind person, I might end up abusing his good intentions. How cold. It figures. I say, again without thinking. Without my knowing what he's so happy about, the man's mouth loosens into a grin. You're pretty clever. I give up. But you know, I seriously am worried about you. Your face is pale and all. That's none of your business. His kind words taking me by surprise, I inadvertently avert my eyes. For some reason, I become strangely embarrassed and begin tapping my index finger on my can of cocoa. Hell, that aside, since you came to have fun, let me show you around. How about no? We are really just fine. Yeah. The words come out so naturally they surprise even me. I have now become a complete idiot, and my eyes meet his. I work part-time in this building, so I'm familiar with it. This area, that is. Okay, now you have a legitimate reason to be hanging around and talking to people that look like they want to go in. Okay, you suddenly have legitimacy here. Hey, what are you doing? Himeno. I gasp and look up. Himeno was there carrying 2 tickets and some pamphlets. With her hands on her hips and her cheeks puffed out, Himeno glares at the man with narrowed eyes. I think the only ones allowed to hit on junior high schoolers would be high schoolers. I think the only ones allowed to hit on junior high schoolers would probably be junior high schoolers. Yeah, he's still a creeper, but he's a creeper with at least legitimate reason to be in the vicinity, instead of just random dude walking by. Unfortunately, this means we might actually have to put up with him for a little while. Still very much a creeper. And no, I'm not trying to hit on anyone. This girl just looked unwell is all. Mayu, what happened? Yeah, I'm calling you out, dude. I think it was what you'd call hitting on someone. Yeah. You're the worst. Himeno pulls my arm with a jerk, pulling me backward. Then she inserts herself between the man and I. Hey, mister. Himeno mutters, facing the man's chest. On hearing her saying mister and giving me a puzzled look, the man shows us the plastic name tag hanging from his neck. Ah, I must have forgotten to take this off. Himeno, speaking of which, he did say he works part-time in this building. Ah, then is that his entry card or something? He slaps his knees and rises to his feet. He probably played some kind of sport or something because the movement as he stands looks so effortless. Effortless standing from a bench. If I were to pick on this game's grammar the whole time, I would never proceed. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm Hiyoshi Kenji. I work part-time at the shop downstairs. With this entry card, I can get into Montine Aquarium at a discount. Is it a company employee discount? Something like that. I'm not exactly a company employee, but I get it half off anyway, so I come here often. Really, that's quite unexpected for you, mister. When you become older, you'll crave these soothing experiences as well. And I'm not old enough to be a mister. Now he says it. Compared to us, you're definitely old enough to be a mister. Especially if we hit your neck in just the right spot, you'll miss blood all over the place. Hiyoshi-san grimaces angrily, then sniffs in a self-deprecating manner. He appears to be a little older than the college student, so calling him old enough to be a mister is probably rude. But Himeno only said the impression he gave was pretty close. Yeah, someone needs to learn when the conversation is lost. With the aquarium as a shared point of interest, Himeno's attitude towards Hiyoshi-san softens. As proof, Himeno talks with Hiyoshi-san about the shops in the building. I don't really know a lot about brands, so I sip my remaining cocoa and listen from the outside. My iced cocoa had become lukewarm cocoa. Just out of curiosity, I am not up to date on Japanese honorifics, but isn't san implied to be some strain of familiarity? I mean, she's already calling this guy, san. So it just seems like that might be a bit too familiar for a creeper. No? Okay. Well, mister, aren't you also well versed in urban legends? San is formal, okay. Like I said, I am not versed in Japanese honorifics. On hearing Himeno's question, my head pops up in surprise. The corners of Hiyoshi-san's mouth lift into a grin. Kun is familiar? Okay. Huh, that's rather unexpected for you as well. So you're interested in such things? Of course I am. You're only young once, so you have to satisfy your curiosity. We're looking into the closed-down deep-sea fish booth. There's rumor that it's open on the day of the full moon. Do you know anything about it? Hiyoshi-san places his hand on his chin and looks down, grunting loudly. He glances at me, looks over at the entrance, then finally turns to Himeno and opens his mouth. I think you need to give up on that one thing. Naturally, since I'm a regular here, I often hear rumors like there are spirits floating in the tanks, or every time a person dies, the jellyfish tank increases by 1, and so on. Oh my god, we've got jellyfish ghosts! We actually have spirit jellyfish. My god. Himeno-chan, the story you mentioned shouldn't be anything more than one of those rumors, but... Stop dancing around it. Just tell me. Previously, I knew someone who went looking into this just as you girls are doing now, Himeno-chan. He went missing soon after. But we need the body swapping through time. So the Chan is a bit more familiar than he should be. Okay. Miss-ing? Without thinking about it, I joined their conversation. If someone had gone missing here at Montine Aquarium, it holds significance for me as well. Is that for real? I glance back in surprise. Himeno is still looking at him with doubt in her eyes. Hiyoshi-san listens to what Himeno said and with a playful smile responds, "Just kidding, it's a lie." I wonder if it is a lie. Because of the words he muttered, my curiosity has been piqued. I couldn't imagine the tense face he made as he told the story of an acquaintance who went missing being faked. That's right, but if that's the case, then this really might interest you, Mayu. I've thought from the beginning that it would be better to just give up. No way, I already bought the tickets anyway. Himeno's face shows that she's enjoying herself to the end, and she takes my arm and gently pulled me closer to her. That was the signal that she was ready to go, and in my mind, I prayed that nothing would happen. Well then, want to walk around with me? Like hell. Hiyoshi-san calls out to Himeno, who said later, but it's me rather than Himeno who hears him and spins around first, so I make eye contact with Hiyoshi-san and say, "No way." We haven't actually talked to a teacher. They only showed up in school for a few minutes talking to each other. There were like 2 or 3 people there, but none of them were the teacher, so we did not get to Sama. For some reason, unaware of what I was doing, I flat out refused. On hearing my insistence, Himeno takes my hand and begins giggling. Yeah, we can tell the creeper to buzz right the hell off. Mayu, that made the old guy feel bad. I'm so sorry. No, you're not. You do not get to be sorry. Realizing I'd said too much after all, I turn to him and bow. Hiyoshi-san apparently mutters something in a low voice, but because of the distance between us, I can't make out what he says. Why aren't they wearing matching school uniforms? Because it's not a school day. This is not a school trip. So, not affiliated with the school, so they don't have to wear their uniforms. At least that's my guess. Besides, if they were wearing school uniforms, you could not get the important shot of the special boots she was wearing. Mayu, that should finish it. Not sure of what she meant, we headed for the gate to Montine Aquarium. The aquarium entrance is so dark that we can't see in front of us until we are inside. I can feel the cold air on my skin. I get a sensation of something heavy, causing me to rub my arm. Special boots, yes. They were called sandal boots, but it was more like combined. I think it's a. What would you call that? A mule? A high top mule almost? Or am I thinking? I'm not sure the name of the type of shoe. But basically, think about like a mesh top that revealed the entire ankle, revealed the toes, and had laced up halfway up the calf. And were light blue. Naturally, there's no mark indicating something has touched me, and called back by Himeno's, "Hey, let's go." I passed my ticket through the machine. Yeah, the anti-sandals. The anti-sandal equation. Meh, it figures that the whole "if you come on the day of a full moon, all the water will change into blood" thing is a lie. The water's normal. Of course it is. Jeez. Right away, Himeno says so regretfully. Even so, she's still unable to hold back her excitement at having come to the aquarium, and her steps are fittingly light. As we come out of the gate, there are several small tanks nearby. Montine's aquarium, first and foremost celebrated exhibit, is the one displaying fish native to Tokyo Bay. There are 4 tanks in this corner, from left to right, each one showing the environments of the river flowing into Tokyo Bay. Brackish waters, shoals, and open water come one right after the other. Brackish water. Himeno giggles as rockfish, porgy, and other fish we recognize from the supermarket are also there. This booth also showcases environmental problems in order to prompt consciousness of the issue, causing a tightening in my chest. Water pollution is a serious problem. Tomorrow, I think I'll try asking Mom to use a little less detergent. Suddenly it gotten like this. See what I mean? If I have to correct the spelling and the grammar, we're going to be here all day. Himeno's reaction is the polar opposite of mine. Even as I'm reading the panels, she's uninterested in the display. Just like that, I read every last panel. Himeno has long since stopped watching me, crossing her arms and puffing out her cheeks. Thanks for waiting, Himeno. Jeez, you're too serious, Mayu. If you act like that the whole time, the day will be over. They'll close. We'll be fine. This area isn't that big, and it's not like I'm going to read everything. As soon as she hears what I said, an expression of dissatisfaction appears on Himeno's face. Well, let's head to the next area. Next is the tunnel tank. There might be ghosts. Yeah, maybe that'll be with the human-like fish. And yeah, water pollution and massive things about water, generally you can attribute that to corporations, like Nestle, who pretty much single-handedly caused the California droughts. This is true. Jeez, come on already. Even saying something like that, upon entering the aquarium, I'd begun to enjoy myself. Upon cheerfully calling out to Himeno, my previous unease has disappeared, leaving me ready to move forward with a light step. Oh yeah, I heard that they were the ones doing a number on Flint. Even though the good news is there is a company going in and replacing out pipes. So that will be a good thing. Amazing. Really amazing and pretty. With no door to partition this booth from the next, passing beside this tank took us to the next one, where larger breeds of fish swim about. This is no ordinary tank, but rather a giant tube-like tunnel, with the left and right sides connected above our heads in an arc. And just to let you know, yes, these are extremely cool to walk through, I've been to a couple of places that have setups like this, and it is extremely nice to get to walk through. It's very, very nice to look at. Very, very pretty. As we walk through the tunnel, we're able to watch the fish moving about in 3 dimensions. We bring our faces as close as we can to the glass, giving the illusion that we're in the ocean. Just watching the mantas, the rays, the manta rays, the various types of sharks, and the sea turtles can be intoxicating for us humans. And that poor fish just got speared by a tentacle. When I was a child, I thought the ceiling might crack, but now I passed that feeling up, leaving only the throbbing of my heart. The water is a giant bundle of blue, various colors within it, shooting every which way. Tolkien, you are not! Stop it! Being able to see how big they are up close, separated by mere centimeters of glass, it is so impressive it gives me the greatest realization of our shared existence. This is true, toxins are intoxicating. This is true. I cannot deny the logic. Here, Himeno's pace slows and she takes her steps one by one. Hey, Mayu, look at those huge fangs. Himeno, that fish is cute too. Ugh, the stingray's face is creepy. Really, I think it's cute. Ah, a manta, it's huge. This could not be summed up any more succinctly, folks. That little one over there looks yummy. Talking as the words came to us, our conversation seems out of sync. Our feelings of being touched, however, are the same, and Himeno's enjoyment is obvious. Being surrounded by the water and the fish as we are, we feel as though we're freed from any sense of time. But seriously, getting to walk through one of the aqua tunnels, or whatever they actually want to call it, I think you said this was made by in the Rinpi engine, I believe you said, Maverinthia? Mayu, doesn't this Ray's face look human? Maybe so. We can't bother to show that on screen because our artist budget was too low, but trust me, there is a human face on a manta ray. It does. The mystery of the human-faced fish is solved. Naturally. Well, if you're okay with it, then so am I. Thus, we learned the true nature of one of the urban legends. You know, this kind of reminds me of something. I can't remember which game it was, but there was another game where you had a list of like legends or urban legends and stuff, and as you actually went through and figured out the cause of them, you actually checked them off. I don't remember which game that was. I need to look into it and see if I can find it again. But it was funny, you had this list of urban legends, and as you investigated and found the real source of them, you checked them off, and when you finished, I believe the game was over. Don't remember what game that was. And it's gonna drive me nuts the rest of the night. I was fine either way, but for Himeno, this way is probably best. Though from Himeno's enthusiastic stance, even as she watches the fish, she probably realizes just how implausible it all is. Rather than get tired of it though, I'm having fun. We move leisurely through the tunnel, coming to a stop at the center. Up to this point, only the big things have caught our eyes, but on closer inspection of the tank, there's also sand piled up to our knees with shrimp, shellfish, small fish, and other such creatures dwelling there. Compared to the manta rays, the small shrimp, which can't even be considered child-size, seem so cute and innocent as they swim about, breaking through the sand, and then getting eaten by bigger fish. Hey, look, Himeno! Ah, it's tiny! As I expected, Himeno has followed the human-faced ray, and on seeing my fingertip, speaks in a playful tone. Upon sensing the tremors from Himeno poking glass, the ray kicks at the sand and flees deeper into the tank. And it's gone now. I know, it might have even been just a smaller part of a larger game. Yeah, but there was this game I played a long time ago that was a major component of it, solving urban legends. Something I will have to rack my brain to figure out and see if I can remember what it was, because I believe it was just some small little indie project. As I say this to Himeno, I smile at a small shrimp. Himeno does the same, smiling wildly. Before long, the two of us are looking up at the ceiling, toying with the question of just how high it is. Even looking up, we can only see the fish swimming, never the ceiling itself. Looking up from the bottom of the sea, one would normally see the rays of the sun piercing the water. But looking up here was the opposite, with the bottom of the sea seeming to continue forever. It could have been the reflection of the light, or the ceiling really might have been too high. As I realize I can't be sure, my eyes settle on a small but characteristically long-nosed shark swimming past. Sharks? Sharks? That's a ray, isn't it? You just saw it from behind earlier. As soon as I mutter that, Himeno responds. It's true that although I'm interested in this type, Himeno is fixated on the human-faced ray. Totally normal slice of life, nothing to see here, move along. Huh? What's up? Himeno asks, but I falter. This conversation gives me a sense of what you might call deja vu. How strange. I felt as if I've had this conversation before. At that moment, my vision is dyed ultramarine and flashes red. Really need to get that antenna fixed. Huh? Nothing to see here, nothing special at all. Nothing, nope, nothing. It was no longer Himeno in front of me, but someone else that had caught my attention. This can't be real. This isn't happening. Hey, Mayu. The ultramarine color unchanged. Within it, a face like mine passes before me. A face like mine from 5 years ago. Wearing an ultramarine overcoat that merges with the color of my vision, the girl turns to me and seems to be giving me a gentle smile. That we can no longer see anymore because you let the figure pass on. Mayu, wait! Maria? I hate Head Bob. Without hearing Himeno calling me back, I start running. We haven't finished looking at everything in the tube tunnel tank, but there's something more important right in front of me. A black void. And footsteps. Long hair that looks almost transparent. A thick blue coat. Cute boots with fur on them. There was no way I could forget that outfit. That's because it was the outfit my little sister, Nakanobi Mari, wore when she went missing here 5 years ago. You know, if we stare at this abyss too long, it's going to stare at us. The girl quickens her pace as if playing with me and disappears out the other side of the tunnel. There are hardly any people there, but I lose sight of her between the shadows of the tank and the corner. I hope not apple-bottom jeans. We're talking about elementary school kids here. Mari? How? Why? Hey, Mayu, wait! Breathing heavily, Himeko chases after me. I say sorry and break away from her, searching for the vision of Mari. Well, it's a good thing you're searching for vision, because we got none. As I come out of the table, I survey the area, spotting a winter skirt nearby. I chase after that swaying form. Behind me, I can hear the intensity of Himeno's rushing steps and quicken my pace. And runs face first into a door because it's pitch black in here. Having fallen into a trance, I realize what's going on when I slam into someone and fall on my backside. Okay, you didn't slam into a door, you slammed into someone. And you're back in the tunnel, apparently. The girl clicks her tongue as she picks up what she had dropped. As I start to say excuse to her, she's already moving past me and running off somewhere. Because of that brief incident, I'm unable to find my way out of my confusion. And again, please God, no, let's not bring up apple-bottom jeans. Not with these characters. Anyway, Mari. I feel bad about the person I'd run into, causing me to feel flustered. In that exchange, I lose sight of both that long hair and that long skirt. But you were going this way, right? I'm not sure of myself where I'm running to, but I think you can say I'm definitely running with all my heart. I pass between more tanks than I can remember, but I don't pay them one bit of attention. I just continuing following Mari's back, running. Mari's just as bashful as she was the day she disappeared. Mayu, get a hold of yourself! Those few words end my chase. To be more accurate, it was ended by Himeno herself, who had grabbed my wrist. Huh? You suddenly took off and you wouldn't turn around no matter how many times they called you. Even when you dropped something, you had no idea. What happened all of a sudden? Wait, Himeno, if I can go after Mari, I'll explain everything, so... Hold it! Objection! I look back at Himeno upon hearing her extremely hurt voice. I see tears forming in Himeno's eyes, and I turn my whole body to face her, even though that is clearly more of an angry face than a sad one, despite the tears drawn in it. I stand in silence like this for several seconds. If I tell Himeno about Mari, I'm sure she will regret bringing me to Montine Aquarium. When she followed me, she had to have seen Mari. It's natural that she would have some misgivings about me chasing some total stranger, since she doesn't know Mari. Sangry. Even so, I'm not sure what to say. If I apologize now and play dumb, we can probably go back to playfully searching the aquarium for information. But that is not something I can do. It isn't the similarities that are the problem. Mari is here, and just as she had been on that day. There's no way I can go home without taking her with me. You said it's been 5 years? And she's exactly the same as she was on that day? I don't think you want to bring this one home. Mayu, tell me what's going on. Who's Mari? Why do you keep running off without saying anything? Tears are pouring out of Himeno's eyes. I can't understand why she's so sad. But still, my little sister. My little sister. She was here. Little sister? See, that's a sad face. See, the girl I was chasing, she's my little sister. Mari disappeared 5 years ago with this aquarium. Looking at Himeno's tear-stained face, I no longer feel like I'm hiding anything. Perhaps in the depths of my consciousness, I'm hoping Himeno will become satisfied and say she wants to look for Mari with me. Yeah, I'll take the ghost girl over to the creeper. I'll explain in more detail later. On top of that, when I look back once more, Himeno squeezes my hand and holds me back. This is the gentlest, but the strongest, that she's held my hand. Himeno stares into my eyes and tilts her head to the side. What do you mean you were chasing someone? I told you, the little girl that was in front of me, wearing the ultramarine coat and the boots, remember? That was Mari, exactly how she looked long ago. Mayu, snap out of it! Himeno shouts. It isn't simply a loud voice, but one weighed down with great sadness. It definitely gets through to me, but but that doesn't mean it will stop me. Now, just wondering something here as I take another drink. Why is she sad? They were just having a grand old time looking around this tank tunnel, and suddenly her friend just takes off in a sprint. There are many emotions most people would feel. Confusion, maybe a tiny bit of anger. But sadness would not be among the emotions most people would feel in something like this. Mostly confusion. And wondering if they need to call for help or something. Excuse me. And we probably shouldn't have eaten the mushroom. This is not Knit's Adventures. Because without a doubt, I was right. Mari had been right before my eyes, so I had to chase. Let's just say that even if this Mari girl was here, she would have grown in 5 years and her clothes wouldn't be the same. It's summer, so she wouldn't be wearing a coat. Moreover, she was here. I saw her. No, Mayu, no. Mayu, you weren't chasing anyone. You just took off running, leaving me behind. Okay? Could you just calm down for a bit? Our tickets will get us back in, so how about some cocoa in the rest area? I think you're tired, since you were a little shaky earlier. Himeno seems pretty frantic, so I know she isn't lying just to persuade me. The secret of this game. Miyumi is a ghost, and Himeno has been haunted by her the whole time, and Himeno is just trying to get her to her final resting place at the aquarium. There's the twist. I'm gonna call it now. See, I don't actually know, but that just seems like the right place to go with this. Sixth sense level stuff going on here, folks. But there's no way that my seeing Mari there was a lie. That's why I start to speak without really knowing what I want to say. Himeno. Mayu. Okay? Wiping away her tears, Himeno smiles at me. Surely she has plenty of strong feelings about this whole thing, but I'm sure she has loads to say about me keeping the Mari thing and my reason for resisting visiting Montine Aquarium quiet. Even so, it seems as though Himeno has accepted me. She just smiles and lets it go. That's probably right. Surely if we're by the entrance, we'll know if Mari comes out. Mayu, that's good. That's right. That's more like you. Let's go have some cocoa and you can tell me everything. Like call people in white coats. As she smiles, Himeno once again takes my hand into her soft palm. Oh, that's right, you dropped this. You gotta be more careful. With the hand that isn't holding my own, she hands me something small. It's a keychain. The blue droplet shape is inlaid with stardust and it holds a starfish charm. It isn't exactly rare, being a giveaway item. But why did Himeno have it? Only questions arise in my mind. Why, when that keychain was... On thinking about it, I instinctively shake off Himeno's hand. Hey, what are you doing? After I picked it up for you and all. Himeno's voice is like an arrow piercing through me. The pain in my chest is nothing more than discomfort. What is Himeno saying? That isn't mine, so I can't possibly have dropped it. And now I can't look at Himeno's face. Yeah, it did sound more like she just hauled off and smacked Himeno's face. And not just smacked her hand away. Liar. Huh? Liar. That's not mine. It isn't something I dropped. It was Mari's. Mari dropped it. Can't be, I'm not lying, really. There was no Mari-chan, so she couldn't have dropped the keychain. Himeno was becoming gruff as she continued. Really? Isn't it you who's lying? No one else is here. That's enough. Himeno, you dummy. Boy, this escalated quickly. Saying only that, I turned my back on Himeno. When I glanced back, Himeno's shocked expression was getting further away. I kept walking and left the aquarium. The next day it was reported that Himeno had disappeared. She was there. Mari had definitely been there. Because the keychain Himeno had, it belonged to Mari. There was no way I could forget. It was just before Mari went missing. How many times are we going to reiterate the fact that this keychain was the one Mari had 5 years ago on this day? Logo? No logo. Flashback. Okay. You can tell it's a flashback because we've gone sepia tone. For the two of you, just this once. Upon saying that, Mom handed us each 100 yen coins. Really? That's the keychain Mari had from 5 years ago? I don't think the game's made that clear yet. That day was a cold winter day. At the Montine Aquarium souvenir area, the smell of construction lingered faintly in the air. There were manta and penguin stuffed animals, stationery with the logo on it, and various souvenirs. At the entrance to that souvenir stand, there were the gacha machines containing that keychain. And there is an aquarium fairly close to where I live. I mean, fairly close being it's within a half-hour drive and all. I've only been there twice. I think my daughter wants to go more often. I'll have to keep that in mind. I have to remember to actually take her there more often. I don't remember all the various types, but star sand was packed in the plastic drops, and the charms were all modeled after fish at the aquarium. We're about to be more informed about the type and possession of keychains. It was fairly typical for a gacha, but at that time it just seemed very enticing to me. It was the same for Mari, and we gazed into the gacha machine. Mari was the one who would usually beg our parents at this point, but neither of us had bought a souvenir, and both of us said we wanted the keychains. Yeah, the aquarium nearby isn't that haunted. I don't think it's old enough to have developed urban legends yet. Since Mom couldn't be completely broken. She emphasized the one-time only bit. Breaking parents! Yay! Mari held up both hands with glee, while I probably just smiled. I remember that inside, I was just as happy. As to which of us went first, it was of course the most assertive Mari. She was always like this, a cheerful and inquisitive child. How cute, Mr. Star! Mari got a starfish charm keychain. At this point, Mari still didn't know the difference between a starfish and a star. I was next to get one. It was a pink drop with a jellyfish charm. Oh god, she has a spirit jellyfish. Ah, a jellyfish. This gives more credence to the fact that she's actually dead. I'm just saying. She got the charm and became a spirit jellyfish, and is now trapped in the tank partially, but not all of her, which is why she's having to be exorcised by her friend. Ah, that's what I wanted most. Mari pointed the index finger of her tiny hand, exclaiming in a loud voice. Mari was just learning how to use first person when she mentioned herself. Instead of a normal I or me, she said it slowly. Hey, big sister, trade me. No way, I want this one. Ugh. Naturally, as I had already fallen in love with that design, I obstinately turned her down. Upon begging my mother for one more time, my mother, who had warned us earlier, held her purse strings tight, leaving Mari to sulk. Fine, stupid big sister. Without listening to my mother's admonishments, she ran off. Sulking after being called stupid, I naturally didn't chase her right away. My mother, being optimistic about the aquarium's small size, also waited a while to go looking for Mari. And now, all I'm left with are my regrets. If only I'd gone after her sooner. If only I'd traded her keychains in the first place. Even so, the past is unchanging, and I am left with only my regrets to bear. So in case I could ever trade with Mari again, I've stubbornly carried around that keychain, the one with the pink droplet shape and jellyfish charm, like a treasure. I rummaged through my bag, seeking to feel the keychain in my hand. Huh? Why? At a time like this, I'd forgotten to bring it. The keychain wasn't in the bag, nor in my pockets. Game? I was kidding earlier when I said that Miyumi was the dead one, right? You do get that was a joke. Huh. A sigh naturally slipped out of my body. After all, I've lost sight of Mari, and strayed from Himeno. Himeno has a building map, so there's nothing I can do. Huh? At that moment, a pungent aroma floats by and causes me to speak in surprise. Unable to bear the irritating stench, I pinch my nose. Still, the stench seems to twist in my nose. It's made of the smell of sewage, sulfur, and the nauseating stink of vinegar. You know, I'm sure the sewage smell would be a little more nauseating than the vinegar. I'm just saying. Squish. As soon as I try to get away from the smell, something soft creeps along the bottom of my foot. As I hesitantly look down, I realize the true identity of the putrid odor. It's a corpse. I'm not sure what type, but it's as big as my arm span. The body is slowly decaying and hasn't retained its original form. Yet, by its bulging round eyes and slightly extended tail fin, I can just barely tell it was a fish. Thank you, game developers, for making buzzing flies the sound effect here. That was totally called for. I couldn't tell right away, but it has a silhouette similar to a pirarucu, I think. I feel like I've seen those eerie, glaring eyes, characteristic of a freshwater fish. I feel sick. I move my foot slowly, and a small fragment of the corpse sticks to the bottom of my shoe, on the underside of which I notice something wriggling desperately. The slight sound of flapping wings departs from beside my ear, and I understand that the wriggling thing is an insect. Ah! Covered in maggots. Shaking chills run up my spine as if someone had pressed ice to it. I take a step back and drop my cell phone. The phone reacts with the backlight and LCD screen coming on, illuminating the dead body. The syrupy dead body absorbs the light, and the winged insect that flees to avoid it. There's also a meandering white nematode that seems not to notice. The backlight soon disappears, leaving its stench amidst the darkness. The shadows of these hideous insects are scorched into my retinas, and they sway like the light off a heat haze in the darkness. Something was creeping up from the pit of my stomach. You know, most of me is saying we should probably bail. Let's see what happens if we stick around. I immediately shut my mouth, enduring what had come up. The intermingled acidic taste of the vomit that had come up and the scent of stomach acid lingering in my nostrils mixed with saliva and caused my eyes to water in pain. Why was it so painful? I can't figure out the answer to my doubts, not at all. I cover my eyes with both hands. I couldn't have made it if I didn't. But shutting out my vision leaves my sense of smell, causing the smell of rotten water and the stench of the dead body to become more intense, so I uncover my eyes. No, what is this? This is a place for customers. Is it really alright for this to be here? On top of that, I was in the middle of chasing Mari, wasn't I? No, that isn't the problem. It's strange enough that there's a place like this in the middle of an aquarium. Anyway, I have to get out of here. The stench is so overpowering. It's as if I can see it. I want to get out of here quickly, satisfying myself with the argument that it's a garbage dump or something, and that if I only get away, I'll be fine. We found the food prep area for the carnivorous fish, is what we found. At any rate, I can go back the way I came. Nah, that's no good. I might run into Himino. Himino. Yeah. More drink. At this moment, I don't want to see her face. My eyes are having adjusted a bit to the darkness. I search for a way out. Here, the tanks are broken, the little remainder water stinking, and the bodies of living things have tumbled out here and there. I think about how happy I am that I can't see. Even so, to find the exit, I'll have to look around. My nose has begun to go numb, and thanks to that, I'm somehow able to retain my sanity. Before long, I find a dim emergency light behind one of the tanks and head towards it, as if it were the last hope I could cling to. I feel squishing several times beneath my feet, but try to ignore it and move on. As I move towards the emergency light, it seems the smell is becoming faint. Huh? I get used to the scattered shards of glass and the rotten fish corpses just before I reach the door. The tip of my shoe feels as if it kicked something hard, something different from before. Wondering what it kicked, I casually look down against all better judgment. No. No! I get the sensation that all the blood has stopped flowing through me and that my heart has stopped completely. I just kicked my own corpse. The round thing I kicked has patches of hair, 2 eyes, a nose with a bone to it, and a mouth. Altogether, it is a human face. That is apparently a cyborg. Seriously, why use this music? You have died. Speaking accurately, it's a head rather than the face. It's completely lifeless and rolls away with a flopping sound when my foot touches it. Seeing the state the head is in, I begin to feel ill despite having finally calmed down from before. Of the white cranium, only the forehead area seems to be exposed. It seems this is new and has only just begun to decay. No, for starters. There's no way a human head should be rolling around here. It's my imagination, or it has to be from some model. I haven't yet looked in the direction it was rolling. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Convincing myself that it isn't a human head, it really is different, so there's no satisfying myself. I place my hands on the door in an attempt to escape. Unable to control my shaking hands, it takes 3 tries before I can open the door. It's a heavy fire door that is usually open. Yep, this is just totally slice of life. That's what you get for wondering. Oh, look, good, we're in the spirit jellyfish room. Mixed with Undertale, apparently. I don't remember which color is which feeling. This is... I step inside with my thoughts racing, and the atmosphere changes completely once more. I can hear the sound of the door closing behind me. Inside is a very clean place that I'm going to track blood all over. Blood and assorted viscera. The transparent water is tinted a faint blue, and inside float fantasy-like jellyfish. Countless pillar-shaped tanks spread around, and the water shimmers as it reflects the light of the fluorescent lamp. Red, yellow, green, and purple. The jellyfish's bodies diffusing light like a prism. In spite of the strange space I have reached, I'm fascinated by the shimmering live art display. Himeno. I mutter without thinking, and I quickly shake my head, erasing the image of Himeno's face that appears in my mind. Earlier, she didn't come after me. After all, Himeno chose on her own to part ways from me. I'm sure it's because she dislikes me now. It isn't something I should worry about. Yeah, this is an actually very pretty picture. And if I didn't already have wallpaper I was completely happy with, you know, I might actually be tempted. But nope, I'm happy with my dual eyes staring at me. Even at a quick glance, I can see there are various types of jellyfish in the tank. Having made efficient use of the small space, it's a charming area. It vividly exposes the starry sky, as is fitting in the name Montine Aquarium. I don't want to change it to this. Compared to the earlier Fish of the World booth, this one isn't the least bit in decay. Yes, she did quickly dismiss this friend. Excuse me a second. Okay. Man. I wonder if Mari came this way. So we have a choice that says we can continue to press on and look for Mari and say screw you to Himeno, or we can actually feel worried about Himeno and go back. I quick saved at the choice before this. So we're gonna press on. Screw Himeno! Going back is dangerous. I can't do anything by stopping here. I have to press on. And so I start towards the starry sky. I gaze in fascination to the right and left of me. If circumstances weren't what they are, I would have stopped and stared into each and every tank. The tanks lined up all together are beautiful enough, but each one is vivid like the night sky inlaid with jewels. Altogether, there are 7 tanks. Each one holds a different type of jellyfish, some with poison, some without, categorized by aspects such as where they live. They really are beautiful. I stop and stand in the very center between the 3rd and 4th tanks. I wonder if the last time we came, these tanks were here. Nakanobi Mari, my little sister. I lean my back against one of the tanks and sit down. Whenever Mari's face appears in my mind, I lose all of my strength. If anyone saw me, I'd be embarrassed, but here and now in Montine Aquarium, there is no one around. I heave a sigh and look up at the ceiling. For some reason, a large fan is revolving there. My memories of the last time we visited Montine Aquarium aren't all bad. It was the first time in a long time all four of us had gone out as a family. Mari and I got along really well, and we always held hands as we walked. We would do things like play house or read picture books aloud. Mari was a bit more of a tomboy than I, so that even though I was the older sister, she was the one who gave the orders. Since it was the first time the two of us sisters went to the aquarium, it was natural for us to be very excited. Just as one would expect, the first time Mari and I laid eyes on the creatures of the sea, we experienced fear, awe, and the sense of being deeply moved. The creatures we saw at the time have stayed with me as vivid memories. Happy memories. I still have plenty of them. But on such a special day of all days, Mari and I ended up fighting. The rest proceeded just as I remember. Since then, my parents buy me anything I want. However, I change as well, and I didn't really want anything anymore. Greed itself seemed to decline for me, and I never really got excited for anything. That's why, when my mother bought me these boot sandals... See? The boot sandals are freaking important! Seriously, they spent like 5 sentences talking about these damn things. I was happy. I was fascinated by their nostalgic ultramarine color. About 1 year after Mari disappeared, she stopped coming up in conversation. I don't know if my mother and father had accepted it as a tragic accident or if the sadness had slowly faded, but my new normal had begun. I had become an only child. But that is nothing more than an excuse I can't escape from. Mari, you're here, right? Finally, it seems my strength has returned, and I stand up. Even though I ask, no answer will come. The thundering ventilation fan in the ceiling is the only sound I can hear. It was almost at the same time I stood up. Either a bubbler or we're boiling something. Yeah! A crack appears in the glass of the tank behind me. Since the glass doesn't make any noise when it splits, I realize it's broken when water splashes on my rear end. Water continues to flow out, gradually spreading to my feet. The amount of water from the tank is more than just puddles after a heavy downpour. Along with the water flowing forth, the jellyfish that had been in the tank just a moment ago float out. In order to avoid contact with water already soaking my sandals, I step back from the puddles without looking away. How? Why? As if to play further with my already bewildered mind, the tank behind me also cracks. And now the jellyfish kill us, the end. This time I hear the high-pitched noise of glass cracking. Following that, the tanks are each destroyed in turn. Being stuck in the middle of the passage, water is closing in on me from all sides, leaving me pressed in between. The edge of the water is steadily drawing near. See, there are the boot sandals. Decidedly a different color than we saw them earlier. Now a dark blue instead of the light blue that they were, and they don't go quite as high up off the calf. I guess the water has shrunk them and dyed them. What should I do? The words that slide from my mouth also flow away with the water. The colors of the tanks that had once been so vibrant now seem eerie to me. Among these jellyfish are poisonous ones. Even worse, some of them are fatal. On thinking that, my legs began to shake in fear. No, but no matter how frightened I became, I know I can't sit down. It's wet there. As if the area I'm in is shrinking, water and jellyfish are both heading toward me, and it's impossible for me to touch the floor. Well, let's see. We can either just wait to let the water claim us, or we can actually try to run straight through. Neither of these choices seem great, but gotta go fast. Have no choice but to run straight through. I no longer have time for doubt. At a glance, the door on the opposite side is closer than the one I came through. From here, the distance isn't too far to the interior door. Running at top speed should be good enough to reach that one. I hesitate for a moment, then grit my teeth and take off running. Somewhere than 10 meters. It's a distance that should pose no trouble, even for someone like me who tested below average in physical endurance. Gah! When I'd run about 5 meters, just having passed the 6th tank, I fall full force on my back. The floor is wet, so one might say this should have been expected. This is disgusting! The water soaks through my skirt and quickly soaks my underwear. Ridden by a man, folks! The tank water's in direct contact with the skin on my rear. It is cold and wet, uncomfortable but unavoidable. When I put my hand on the floor trying to stand up, I discover that action is a mistake. Ouch! I squeeze my eyes shut at the pain that feels like I've been stabbed by a cold metal needle. No, it doesn't just feel like it. I've been stabbed by something. Have I been stung by? Shaking, I lift my line of sight to my hand. A jellyfish is covering my right hand. At that moment, I get upset that I can't feel the coldness of the water around my right hand. I got stung. What do I do? Someone... The pamphlet introducing the jellyfish has gotten mixed up with pieces of glass from the tank. Man of War. I noticed the name without much of a reaction, but it has to be poisonous to be called that. There have also been incidences of fatalities. Poison. What do I do if I've been stung? Do I clean it? Is it bad if I don't clean it? I can feel my pulse quickening. I wonder if it's a poison making its way through me. What do I do? I try to will myself to calm down. My impatience ramps up. Someone help me! But nobody came. Trying to use my pulsating right hand for support to push myself up, I slide in the puddle and can't stand. It hurts. It really hurts! I put water on the area where I had been stung in an attempt to rinse it out. However, the opening of the wound stings and startles me. I need fresh water. You just dumped a bunch of potentially salt water on your hand. Trying to apply pressure to the vein, I tightly grip the area where I'd been stung. Dad? Mom? Himeno? Mari? Wanting to be saved, I call out as loudly as I can. However, in reality, my voice has already grown hoarse. The corners of my eyes grow hot, and from them fall individual droplets. No, I'm going to die. My voice is no longer really a voice at all. We're going to draw this out as long as we possibly can. That's how to do this, right? Ah! Before long, an electric shock runs through my right hand. The subsiding of the intense pain brings my senses back to me. But my voice will no longer come out. Even when I try to think of something, nothing happens except a sensation of pain whirling inside me that fills me to the brim. Unable to control my body, I fall to the ground. First my head, then my chest, from my stomach to my feet. Having fallen on my face, half my body is submerged in water. My heartbeat quickens. I become acutely aware of the flow of my blood. Unable to stand it, I vomit. The very idea of being able to endure it no longer occurs to me. Even so, the poison won't be expelled from my body. My entire being becoming so numb is proof that my blood has been pumping so quickly it has worn down to my veins. Wanting to rinse out the remaining vomit in my mouth, I suck in water. It tastes like salt. With my body, I'm struggling with all I had. On the outside, my shell has long exceeded the limits of its stamina. Blood is soaking through the capillaries of my eyeballs, and the puddles spreading on the floor are pierced with red. Gradually, I stop feeling my blood flow. Is it because my heart has stopped, or because my consciousness has disappeared? Either way, my consciousness stops and fades into the darkness. With the same simplicity that a ventilation fan spews out old air, my breath is evacuated from my body, yet I can continue to monologue. Or no, I actually can't. Game over, finally. Or not game over. How long can a dead girl monologue? When I come to, I'm still gazing into the cylindrical tank, vacantly thinking nothing other than, I wonder if something's in there. I just stare into that tank. I have neither the urge to call out nor the desire to walk away. Merely the sensation that is my consciousness alone is floating along the rippling sea. Why on earth am I here, anyway? What do I come here to do? Whether I can't remember if there was just no reason from the beginning. The jellyfish are pretty. Especially this jellyfish. Its color is so bright. The voice that starts talking right in front of me catches my attention for some reason. I feel like I've heard it before. Well, who is it? I'm unable to remember clearly, seeing only a wavering face that won't come into focus. Anyway, Mayu, where did she go? Mayu! That girl, she talked like she was looking for someone. Poor thing. If she's lost someone here, she probably won't find them. Wait a second. Where is this to begin with? Swaying, swaying, softly, softly. Drip, drop. The sound of drops resonating all around me. Gradually ceasing to care, my consciousness melts into the water. We became a spirit jellyfish. My form. Huh. Bad end. Oh, what? Okay, we can't skip. Let's see if standing there waiting was a better option. Let's see if this is actually... And hitting the button actually works too. So now we hit a bad end. Now we are back at the last choice that we made, where the sensible option would be to run for the freaking door, but apparently these super awesome sandal boots that we have, we're not capable of running through water. Surprise, surprise. So let's see what happens if we just wait it out. I'm becoming panicked. If I don't calm down, my thoughts swirling around so frantically, I'm getting even more confused. It's a vicious cycle. My sandals are getting dirty. It isn't the first thing that occurs to me, but regardless, it's my only clear thought. The puddles of water are gradually drawing closer. I can't feel anything from the strange jellyfish. I feel my heartbeat speed up as my chest starts to hurt from nervousness. At this point, I have to run through without worrying about my sandals. Though they are sandals, the soles are strong. As long as the jellyfish don't jump, I probably won't get stung. So you're gonna run for it anyway. Little by little, the safe spots are disappearing. I tightly pull my legs together, which makes me stagger. Yeah! I let out a small scream and straighten up a bit. With nothing behind me to lean against, I'm just about cornered. I wonder if I'll die of jellyfish poison again. Rocked by waves of blended nervousness and fear, I carelessly entertained that line of thinking. The meter gauging my fear must be in full tilt. I think with cool self-deprecation. You, from earlier! Huh? The sudden yell confuses me. Upon looking in the direction of the voice, I see the door's been thrown open and a man is standing there. Shoot, why are your feet exposed? Can't be helped. That is definitely Hiyoshi-san. The man we'd called names is now gently removing his shoes and tossing them over to me. My mind races as I catch them. They are thick-soled boots. Put those on and make your way over here. All the jellyfish floating there have deadly poison. Be careful. Creeper was important, yes. I take off my sandals and put my feet into his boots just as he tells me to. The size doesn't fit his own. They are way too big, but not so big I can't walk in them. I cautiously take a step and, confirming it's alright, take my second and third steps toward him with my sandals in one hand. Thank you, very much. He's still a creeper. You can thank me now, you can thank me later. For now, don't look around, just come towards me. I know my breathing is increasingly rough and I get a little embarrassed. However, knowing some concessions will have to be made, I walk through the water and over the jellyfish. When I step on the jellyfish, I feel the squishing sensation through the shoes and shudder. Even keeping in mind, even if they are sturdy boots, yeah, some jellyfish do have stingers capable of completely piercing through the sole of a very sturdy boot. I'm just saying. There are shards of glass in the puddles, and that makes me want to thank Hiyoshi-san for being considerate enough to lend me such strong shoes. See you later, Rin. I can walk with the remaining meter. Hiyoshi-san seems fairly close. Adjusting my breathing, I carefully take the remaining 3 steps. Ah! There's no mistake. In my carelessness, I have overlooked a transparent jellyfish at my seat. Even though I can't see it, I can clearly feel it. And the baggy boots I'm wearing throw off my balance. At this rate, I will end up on my butt. If I fall now, all the help I will receive will be for nothing. Watch out! However, my body is supported by some strength that pulls me back. Hiyoshi-san's right hand has grabbed onto my left wrist. It was a close one. Just like that, I'd been pulled out of the room with the broken tanks. I have no idea why those jellyfish tubes are still intact, other than they didn't have the money to pay the artist to make more broken tubed pictures. Yeah, at least he's not a complete and total jerk. He's still a creeper, but he's not a total jerk. This is true. As soon as I was out of danger, Yoshi gave a mighty pull and shut the fire door. This is in front of the souvenir stand. More importantly, why are you here? Hiyoshi-san steadies me against the wall in front of the souvenir stand. The terror from a moment ago hasn't escaped through the heavy, dark gray emergency door. Isn't this Montine Aquarium? Besides, before I met up with you, Hiyoshi-san, there was so much. Hiyoshi-san just stares at me in my flustered state. Alright, calm down, Mayu-chan. A wry grin appears on Hiyoshi-san's face, and he motions in front of the souvenir stand before sitting down. Today I have nothing but bad memories in relation to the floor, so I merely lean against the wall. Yeah, I do apologize for mutilating the Japanese names, Japanese words. The gacha machines are still there, but the whole lineup is new, and I don't know a single one of the products. And we hit the logo again. Excuse me a second while it just does its thing here. Yeah, hopefully that works for a little while. Well then, have you calmed down a bit? Yes, thank you very much, Yoshi-san. I'm glad. And you can call me by my first name. I don't really care about who's older and who's younger. I really love the multiple choices. We can call him Yoshi-san, Yoshi-san, or Hiyoshi-san. I'm gonna go with Hiyoshi-san. What is it you know about this aquarium, Hiyoshi-san? Jeez, I told you to call me by my given name. That wry grin appears again, but there's nothing I can do. I have some hesitation about actually calling an older guy by his given name, and I've only heard his first name once, so I don't really remember it. She's heard it, he has said it once, when they first met. Yeah, no true ending for me, I picked the wrong one. After that, Hiyoshi-san makes a serious face. I think of him as a lighthearted person, but as his mouth straightens, his face seems very focused. Well, it's fine. At any rate, there's only one thing I know. This is Montine Aquarium. But it is not Montine Aquarium. Then what the hell is it? It's not Montine Aquarium? Something like that. I don't know the principle or the cause behind it, but this Montine Aquarium is a distinct time axis from the one you and I visited earlier, Mayu-chan. That's what I think. I can't think of it as anything else. Oh god, we've got time shenanigans and spirit jellyfish. Oh god. Oh god, why is it Pop-Tarts? A different time? Whether past or present, you could even call it a parallel world, Yoshi-san adds. I can't understand what he's saying, not in the least. Oh, God. Somebody played 9-9. Somebody played the whole Zero Escape series, didn't they? How do you know this, Hiyoshi-san? That is... Hiyoshi-san mumbles and snorts. He looks my way and smiles bitterly. Mayu-chan, didn't you meet any friends or acquaintances from long ago? Huh? On the contrary, you didn't see any staff or other customers, did you? I meant the people who wrote this. Not me, personally. We all know that I did. But yeah, the people that wrote this, I have a feeling they played Zero Escape at some point in time. His words seemed very enlightened. I couldn't think of a single thing. After all, I had just come from that experience firsthand. However, there was something that bothered me as well. Hiyoshi-san had said long ago, Mari, who hadn't changed since that day. But then, why? I don't get it. That bit about long ago. Therefore, I rejected it. In doing so, I could affirm the fact that I had reunited with Mari. Is that so? It seems I said something a bit strange then. As he looks away and says this, I have no response for him. You know, I don't recall time travel being in Hatoful Boyfriend. Many other weirdness going on there, but I don't recall time travel. As he looks away and says this, I have no response for him. Staying like that for a moment, Hiyoshi-san says, by the way, and continues speaking. I think what caused the glass in the jellyfish tank to rupture was an expansion of gas from something within the tank. So the gas expanded and ruptured the tank from within? If we're thinking about the cause, right, since there are no staff in the space-time distortion, then it's not strange for the oxygen modulator there to break down. Then it wasn't the work of ghosts. To my murmuring, he had no answer. Even if we have to force ourselves, we should think positively, right? For us to come here and there to be ghosts, it's not something I can take. Can we get back to our original time axis or something like it? This life or something like it? And I will be right back. My drink is empty. So hang on, folks. Yeah, I can't really argue with the sliding scale. I mean, there are some members of the cast of the Zero games that I would, hang out with, but most of them, no. Jellyfish dating sim. It worked for Headful Boyfriend with Pigeons. Go figure. We can get back, definitely. Hiyoshi-san asserts decisively, without looking me in the eye. Once again, he starts the next topic with a quick, "By the way." I hope that was the game. That girl that was with you, the one who seemed into the occult and stuff, what happened to her? You mean Himeno? Yeah, Himeno-chan. No, I can't remember how to say that one. Weren't you together? Hi. Hi, Mino. Hi, Mino. Hi, Mino. I inflate my cheeks without thinking about it. When he notices, I become embarrassed and look down. I rest my hands on my knees, moving them up and down and say, "I don't know." "Ah, you're a pretty easy read, Mayu-chan. Got into an argument, did you?" "It has nothing to do with you, Hiyoshi-san." "Still, you do get that there's something foul about this aquarium, right? Mayu-chan, you experienced that yourself." At his words, a pang of pain surges through my chest. In that room with the rotten corpses, the sudden cracking of the tank at the jellyfish booth, when I think that the same accidents could happen to Himeno, I instinctively link up. Speaking honestly, I have no desire to see Himeno's face, but knowing that the whole aquarium is dangerous, I can't calm down. What ifs? Imagining possibilities alone makes me want to cry. And unfortunately, I think we're going to need the creeper. He seems to know how to cross time. My god, this is the next Doctor, isn't it? Yeah. Wait a second, Mayu-chan. You must be tired from all that's happened. Moving quicker than I do, Hiyoshi-san's hand holds me back. That's a problem with something that is actually consistently pronounced. I'm just so used to bending the vowels to match the other vowels in the sentence it throws me every time. I'll go look for Himeno-chan for you. I'm more knowledgeable about this place. You wait here. As he says this, Hiyoshi-san gives a thumbs up. It was a mystery to me. We'd only just met today and had an inconsequential conversation, so I wondered why he'd come to rescue me. He was even showing concern for Himeno. He was supposedly a total stranger, so why... That is why we get time rifts. Yes. Without hearing my response, he starts walking away from where the jellyfish booth was. His face in profile made me feel very reassured. Yeah, you go right ahead, creeper. Please, Hiyoshi-san. Trusting in his masculine appearance, I bowed deeply. In reality, it was as Hiyoshi-san had said. I meant the one after that. I know the next doctor is actually a woman. I meant the one after that. This is our next doctor. 15 or something like that. Isn't the woman 14? Capaldi was 13. I can't remember who they cast for the next one. Yeah, 15. This one! This is 15. I had very little stamina to begin with, and now fatigue was building up inside of me. Deciding to stay standing up was good, as those heavy legs of mine were proof of. As for things with Himeno, it would be best to talk them through later. If we talked them over in this tense state, we would probably just get into another argument. Hiyoshi-san might even serve as our mediator. As expected in this gloomy building, he didn't have to walk far before he disappeared. The sound of his gradually fading footsteps had also disappeared. I could rant about Doctor Who, but I won't, other than to say, it was never a story about the Doctor. It was always a story about the freaking companions. Then Moffat came in and changed that, along with many other things. The only thing I could hear nearby was my own breathing. That's why that high, roaring scream pierced right through my eardrums. It was a scream that seemed to have echoed through every corridor. No, in and out of the whole building, it wasn't just someone shouting, but someone crying out as if splitting apart their throat. At the sense of impending danger that voice bore, my own throat began to tighten. I was attempting, a high-pitched Wookiee scream more than anything. That scream! That voice wasn't merely familiar. It was the voice of Hiyoshi-san, who had been right in front of me just 1 minute earlier. After that yes, I was a Muppet. Chewbacca was pretty close to a Muppet, really. Maybe it was the Yoda scream. After that single loud scream, I could no longer hear his voice. Hiyoshi-san? I quickly stand up, running to the source of the scream. This place connects the tube tunnel booth and the souvenir shop. That's where I heard the voice coming from. I run towards the tunnel tank. Yeah, I believe they were both voiced by Henson, weren't they? Huh? Mayu-chan, I told you to wait there for me. More importantly, that scream a minute ago. Did something happen? Hiyoshi-san is sitting at the entrance of the tunnel tank, not far from the aquarium entrance. At my question, he gives a wishy-washy reply of, "You were worried about me. I'm so happy." Nah, it's... Here's an idea. A Monokuma with half blue, half black fur. There we go. Now, it's a somewhat embarrassing story, but it looked like there was a person floating inside that tank. Under the circumstances, it just surprised me. A person in the tank. Speaking of which, Himeno mentioned something like that, but I'm glad. I thought you'd gotten caught up in some terrible situation like I had earlier. I was relieved from the bottom of my heart. Following that relief, I became aware of my own fear of being isolated again. Chuckling, Hiyoshi-san scratches his head. Say, Mayu-chan. And dead. I never got to hear the rest of what he was going to say. Huh? It all took place in a matter of seconds, leaving me unable to make sense of what had happened. However, I gradually realized what was folding right before my eyes. From Hiyoshi-san's neck up, I could see through to the tank. I didn't understand what I was seeing. In other words, his head was no longer where it should have been. Having lost a piece of himself... Oh God, this writing! Having lost a piece of himself so valuable to the human body, he collapsed slowly on the spot. From there, he never moved again. God, that phrasing. That's horrible. Even by this game standards, that's pretty bad. Better written than Zero Time Dilemma, yes, but still, that's a pretty low bar. Soaking up the blue lighting, his reddish-black blood... Reddish-black... Oh God, he's infected by the filth! Spread across the floor. And no, you aren't going to understand that joke unless you play Secret World. Watanagashi? No! Seriously, that's like one slight tweak to the facial animation could bring us that thing from, what is it, Hiragashi? That one laughing girl covered in blood from that series? We're like one slight tweak to the facial animation from that here. Come on, if I was doing Darth Vader, it would... No! Something like that. This time, it was my turn to split my vocal cords. Why? How would he gotten like this? What could have happened to have him left him in this state? Kiyoshi-san's head tumbles along the ground and catches my eye. His eyes are wide and his pupils dilated. The grin I'd seen hours earlier still spread across his face. There's also a strange shoe mark in his forehead from where I kicked it earlier. I mean, I have no idea how it got there. There are marks at the nape of his neck as if his head had been bitten clean off. Hiyoshi just lost his head. Go figure. Hiyoshi, son. I intended to run. I intended to run and leave the dead Hiyoshi-san. Whatever left those bite marks was still nearby, but I couldn't do it. And dead. It hurts. And now she knows the name of the king. The area below my knees has become pitch black. My boots. Mom. There's no pain. Only the visualization of pain running through my mind. In spite of losing my legs, I can't actually feel the pain. Of course not. That body of mine had lost its legs. I'm watching it from a separate place. This subjective point of view would have been impossible while I was still alive. My head was already just like Hiyoshi-san's, just rolling on the floor. Cold temperature of my blood. That was the last thing I felt. Right before I lost consciousness, I saw its unbelievable true form through the wavy mist of my fading vision. With many fangs and a giant body, it was a fish. Many fangs in the giant body. Anglerfish, maybe? Decapitation 1. So we need to get back to the wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey nonsense here. I'm pretty sure he was headless. I'm just saying that isn't a true visualization of his form at the end there. Everybody dead. Okay. Okay, we endure. And can't think of anything. Gets us to the next bit. I'm utterly unconvinced that this choice actually means Jack. But we will pick the second choice and see if it changes anything. What is it you know about this aquarium, Hiyoshi-san? Jeez, I can tell you. I think that's the exact same. We skipped right over it, so it must be. Okay, we told Hiyoshi-san to go the last time. Yeah, that means there is at least a 2. Okay, so I guess we get to go this time. Please wait, I'll go. Somehow moving my heavy legs, I follow behind Hiyoshi-san. It would have been easier to leave it to Hiyoshi-san. However, Himeno is my best friend. Though I can't believe we had fought, that reality can't be changed, so I want to go get her. Since the souvenir shop is near the entrance, Hiyoshi-san heads towards the closest tunnel tank. If Himeno is still in the building, then we need to look everywhere for it. For her. I'm able to catch up with Hiyoshi-san before he enters the tunnel. I'm going too. Huh? Mayu-chan, I told you to wait there for me. Can't do that, because Himeno is my friend. On hearing what I said, Hiyoshi-san gives me a patronizing look while grinning at me. Looking into the tunnel from the outside, I realize it hasn't changed from the Montine aquarium I'd seen earlier that day. Large fish like manta rays and sharks swim about. This is the tunnel tank. If you two went in order earlier, then shouldn't we start with the first exhibit? I nod as what Hiyoshi-san said is right. He adds, right, and walks on. I notice something there and pull him back. Look, over there! I say as I point to an area nearby that's visible from the entrance. As the silhouette becomes clearer on close observation, I become frightened. Something hops freely from side to side. It bounces about the tunnel numerous times and stops itself. After bouncing up and down on the floor several times, it ceases to move, completely exhausted. Straining my eyes from far away, I can see that it's a fish. From what I can see from 10 meters away, it has sharp fangs and a body as thin as a rail. That might be a cutlass fish. Hiyoshi-san mutters this, having laid eyes on the same thing I had. Still, fish aren't creatures that can hop up and down in a room like that. I think we better examine the thing. We should get a better look. This is like a choose-your-own-adventure book, isn't it? This is like a visual novel that decided the choose-your-own-adventure style of deaths were appropriate. After waiting near the entrance for several seconds, a fish resembling a cutlass fish bounces around the tunnel, then flops down on the floor, increasing the amount of fish corpses on the floor to increase. That is a bad end. We apparently cannot. Aside from reading Zero Escape and getting all the time nonsense earlier, we also got the idea that good ends are the ones that are horrific. I'm guessing. The gathering of numerous fish scales reflects the fluorescent light back like the kaleidoscope. Though it is the same as the fluorescent lighting, the light reflected back is vivid, putting the sensation of the scale's slipperiness in my mind. Ugh, that's pretty creepy. Yoshi-san's lips curl up in disgust as he grumbles. I also thought it was creepy, but compared to the rotten corpse I'd seen earlier, that was as far back as I allowed my memory to go. Could that be? In contrast to Hiyoshi-san, who had averted his eyes, I just continued to stare and was unable to pick up on something. Those fish hopping around, they're coming from below, from that place that looks like a vent. From the beginning of the tunnel, the fish hop up intermittently. It doesn't appear as though they're going to stop, with a new fish popping up after a fixed interval of time passes. The fish mechanically shoot out of the vent, ricochet about the tunnel at high speed, then finally, their vigor exhausted, die as they land in a pile on the floor. At the moment they fall, the fish's long, narrow bodies wriggle like snakes. They collide with the other fish as they cease moving, the next fish hopping to its death in the same manner. They are. Good eye, Mayu-chan. So many strange things have happened that I'm probably becoming used to them. Unable to bear these strange circumstances any longer, a self-deprecating smile reaches my lips as I give a light laugh. Whoa! At the same time, a fish leaps up. Yoshi-san takes a handkerchief from his pocket and tosses it into the giant cylinder. The fish pierces the handkerchief once as it dances in the air, then that fish passes through it a second, then a third time as it bounces repeatedly. In an instant, the fabric he tossed has become dust. On placing myself in the handkerchief's position, I subconsciously cover my neck. It shouldn't penetrate this. Himeno. Not having a form should mean it isn't going through. A form, a dead body. I didn't want those words to pass my lips, but it was definitely as Yoshi-san had said. Mayu-chan, don't you remember where you and Himeno-chan split up? You don't remember where you and Himeno-chan split up, do you? I look down and tilt my head to the side. I'm worried about Himeno. I can no longer make baseless statements like, Himeno is fine because she is Himeno. I'm trying to figure out a way to pervert a phrase to include jellyfish, and I'm not succeeding. I'll think about it in a second. The reality is that if Yoshi-san hadn't rescued me, I'd no longer be in this world. There's no way I can let that happen to Himeno. I have to hurry and meet up with her, then find a safe place. Yeah, the best I can come up with is you either die a jellyfish or live long enough to see yourself become the fish bait. It's the best I can come up with right now. Okay, well, we need to do a once over the building. Yoshi-san knocks on a panel that is to the left if you are looking at it from the entrance. I hear it make a hollow sound before he pushes the panel in. Making a rattling sound, the panel opens. This isn't just a display, but also a door. In contrast to the nature-reminiscent blue exhibit space before the door, a mechanical gray hallway stretches before us. The dim, white, fluorescent light flickers and fades on and off. Is this the staff passageway? Correct. When I came through here earlier, I saw some employees, so I was lucky it had been left unlocked. Could the fact that the lights are on me that someone just came through here? Even if they had, that person should be aware of all the unusual phenomena here. Anyway, we go through this passage, we can circumvent the tunnel and look for Himeno-chan. Alright. Hiyoshi-san walked ahead, taking several steps before I stepped in. I was hesitant about walking through the staff passageway without permission, but it was certainly better than going through the tunnel tank. Moreover, if we are able to come across a staff member, we might be able to gain some information about this Montine aquarium. Big sister. The staff passageway is approximately 10 meters, just wide enough that people can barely pass each other. I don't know if the bucket's ahead, but I'm pretty sure that the cloth hanging over that fence is just as vital. Walking up ahead of me, Yoshi-san's shoulder width is so great that I wouldn't be able to pass him unless he turned sideways. Even more than before, Yoshi-san seems stronger and more reliable than ever. He's gaining strength in this dimension. Big sister. Huh? That voice I thought was just in my head before a silhouette the second time. Oh. Thought it was just in my head bore a silhouette the second time. It made me suspect that it was probably an optical illusion. Behind me, I was sure I heard a nostalgic voice. What's up, Mayu-chan? Yoshi-san asked me without turning around. I squeak out that I'm fine and turn my attention to his back. Big sister. However, that was my confirmation. It was neither a visual nor auditory hallucination. The voice calling me, Mari's voice calling me Big Sister, had definitely come from behind me. Mari? Unable to hold back, I let that name slide from my lips. The next moment, I wanted to see Mari so bad, I turned back. You can't, Mayu-chan! My eyes opened wide in surprise as the Yoshi-san plants itself firmly in front of me, arms spread wide. I had unconsciously backtracked to the passageway entrance, back to where we'd started. Huh? Suddenly going back. Don't you remember where we came from? Where is Mari? I see, you moved without hesitation, as if you'd been called, so I thought that's what it might be. Calm down, Mayu-chan. There's nobody there. Huh? But the voice. There's no voice, alright? Calm down. You have to calm down. His expression as he calls for me to calm down is frantic. A crease appears in his forehead as he strains his voice. I steady my breathing as I stand in fear of his threatening attitude. Breathing deeply, I keep my back against the wall of the corridor. As my determination rises, so does my body temperature. And now we're cyborg again. Listen, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Hiyoshi-san, I'm alright. Calm down. Ow, wow, 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 wow. Are you alright? Drop the bass. My words don't seem to be reaching Hiyoshi-san at all, as his eyes open wide and his voice rings out. Like a broken DVD player, he cannot move past that one syllable. You know, there are many things broken DVD players typically, have. But they typically don't have a problem just skipping past a syllable. And yeah, I think Hiyoshi is broken here. Hiyoshi-san? I back up instinctively. However, as if he's completely unaware, Hiyoshi-san just keeps yelling in a strange voice. We've broken the Matrix, that's it. Hiyoshi-san? Please tell me you're okay. Aren't you? 3 meters away from Hiyoshi-san, I peer at him. He sways, his legs unstable, but he's definitely moving towards me. Yeah! Almost at the same time the strange voice stops, he falls over on the spot. As if his power supply had been cut off, he suddenly tumbles to the ground. The sound of it flopping to the ground sends a chill down my spine. I'm not familiar with what you would call ukemi, but I know the way he fell is dangerous. Are you injured? Sitting down, I extend a quivering hand. It's probably a bit rude to the person who saved me, but he would understand. For at this moment, the image of his strange behavior is seared into my mind. Even when I call out to him, there's no response. But if I strain my ears, I can hear shallow breathing. I have no idea what that is. Thank goodness he's alive. Excuse me, folks. Okay, that alone is enough to satisfy me. There's something I can rely on within this mysterious aquarium. What in the world was all that? Still having my doubts, I am, for the moment, relieved. Still having my doubts, I am. Great, more Yoda speak. I know it fit within the context of the sentence, but come on. What should I do? I can't just leave him unconscious and defenseless while I proceed further into the staff passageway. He might lose his head. On the other hand, carrying someone an entire head taller than I am is impossible. Yoshi-san, please wake up. I call his name over and over, but he still doesn't respond. I hesitate a bit, and then I touch his back. Ugh. Putting all my strength into it, I'm able to roll him onto his back. His body's now facing up with eyes closed. His chest goes up, then down to form a breath. Well, okay. Yeah, I guess that works. Yoshi-san! I can't make the distinction between whether he's just asleep or is passed out. I've never seen someone who's lost consciousness. I take deep breaths to keep myself from giving way to panic. We haven't made a choice. We really haven't made a choice to leave him there or save him. Other than the sound of Yoshi-san's breathing, the sounds of machines running echo. Sometimes I can hear the sound of my own breathing. I'm alone. My awareness of the situation quickly turns to anxiety. I'm all alone inside this incomprehensible Montine aquarium. The only other existence I can rely on, Yoshi-san, currently has his eyes closed. Yoshi-san, please wake up! Even though you're clearly a cyborg that just malfunctioned, we need you awake! Growing impatient, I shake his shoulders. He doesn't even moan, and his lack of reaction only increases my anxiety, so I call his name in a louder voice. Whether or not my voice reaches him, his eyes flutter open. On closer inspection, he has distinct double eyelids. Thank goodness you're awake. Huh? Are you looking down on me too? Yoshi-san, what? I'm Nakanobi Mayumi. I'm not looking down on you or anything like that. I mean, I am literally looking down at you because you're on the floor, but that's about it. You too! Screaming, he grabs my left ankle as I squat next to him. His strength is unthinkable compared to his gentle demeanor from only moments ago. Help! A little bit late to run because he's got an ankle. His rough hands dig into my soft skin. Terror rages within my heart at his first brush with a man's real power. Please, stop. Whenever he seems to be losing his grip on my leg, he tightens it more. Every time I verbalize my pain, his grip intensifies just a little further. My concern for him is gone. Only the feeling of his rejection remains. I don't think you call this rejection. You little... I realize that little by little he's pulling me closer to him. He really is that strong. I haven't done anything. Ow! Hiyoshi-san! Gripping my ankle tightly, Hiyoshi-san pulls himself up little by little. His chest is huge and the muscles in his arms bulge and form a mountain shape. Ridden by men, people! His face lacks the appearance of sanity, and his eyes are looking in different directions. They roll without end, seeming as if they will go completely white. Though I intended to put distance between us, I'm unable to do so. As if coaxed, I'm pulled closer to him. No! Rejected! I'm being rejected! The one's doing it! Are you all? No! While standing himself up, he sluggishly lifts his left hand. This is the problem with Windows updates. The software is always so unreliable after you force it to apply. I'm filled with the desire to be free from him. I'm tempted. Hopefully that didn't override the quick save. True or physical? Let's go with kick. No! No! In time with my words of rejection, both my legs jerk frantically. At any rate, I don't think I can take it if he grabs my right leg, so I struggle with all my might, not even worrying about whether my skirt flips up. Ridden by men! He is as strong as before, but his movements are slow, somehow allowing me to continue my resistance. Nevertheless, between the pain and my resistance, my stamina is fading rapidly, before I realize that my haggard breath is louder than a machine's motor. Don't reject me! You should be more accepting! Kiyoshi's words gave an unchanging, disordered image. Whether he's given up on grabbing my other leg or not, his body leans toward me. The upper half of my body falls back, but he quickly yanks my leg and throws off my balance. Yeah! Upon hearing me let out a scream, the corners of his mouth twitch. He is enjoying this. He is enjoying watching me lose the ability to resist. His expression makes this clear to me. One more thing has become clear to me. That is, I can no longer see him as the Hiyoshi-san I once knew. I'm sorry! Even so, my consciousness is tugging at me. My words of apology are proof of that. Why I'm apologizing to a creepy guy grabbing my leg, I don't know, but, you know. I used the heel of my boot to kick Hiyoshi-san, who pulled himself up in the nose. My skirt flutters up, and I reflexively hold it down, because that's totally important right now. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah! Seizing the opportunity, Hiyoshi-san yanks my left leg hard towards himself. Whether it's because of his hesitation or not, my other leg slides free of his right hand. A single line of blood trickles from his nose. The heels must be harder than I thought. Ah! Upon seeing the blood, I shut my eyes immediately. However, oops. Right-click does that. I realize I no longer have the luxury of instinctually worrying about him. Instinctually worrying about the creeper. Fair enough. Only not really. Pulling myself upright, I break into a run in order to escape him. In no time, he's moved in front of me. I want to get away from Hiyoshi-san. With that one thought, I decide to go into a direction unknown to me. Kicking me! Isn't that impudent? Could the stitch on that sole of that shoe be Ruka? Or is it Miki? I hear him say after getting about 5 meters away from him. I quickly regret turning back. Feels good, does it? That's fine. That's just fine. Hiyoshi-san yells, writhing on the floor. I guess he named the fish. The dead fish. The transformation of the one who had rescued me is too devastating. Even so, there's no changing the fact that he tried to hurt me. I understand somewhere in my heart that, through no fault of his own, he is no longer sane, and the desire to protect my own body is winning inside of me. I'm sorry, but I'm apologizing for no reason whatsoever. As I shut my eyes, I turn away from Hiyoshi-san. I'm sure he isn't looking at me anymore. In other words, he is no longer conscious of anything. His voice attempts to stop my fleeing legs many times, but no matter how fast he is, I've already decided to head for the exit of the staff passageway. As soon as the door is between us, I put my ear against it and listen to the sounds in the passageway I just left. However, it is only my own violent pulse and not Hiyoshi-san going crazy that I can hear. Honestly, I almost feel relieved. But apparently, hopefully, I will bar the freaking door. Being separated like this leaves me feeling worried about him, but at the moment, I just don't have the time to spare. And really, I'm not worried about him. The dude's a creepy jerk. I wonder if this is wrong. It's natural that I'd have these doubts. No, it isn't, I say over my shoulder. The only thing to respond to my words is the wind rustling my hair. Nah, these are pretty standard anime faces so far. That's right, this is... Finally, I begin to confirm my location. This place is semi-outdoors and even colder than the passageway. Despite the fact that it's summer, I shiver instinctively. Below eye level, there are several plastic chairs in a row. In the center of the chairs, which are lined up like dolls in a tiered stand, is a stage that is a little smaller than a school classroom. Bowls and buckets are lying atop of it. In the center of the stage is something resembling a small shed. A stage. That's right, for things like the sea lions. A stage, one facility that no aquarium should lack. From kids to adults, the show is something everyone can enjoy. The Small City Aquarium, Montine Aquarium, Aquarium, still has a stage, despite its size. Looks like it hadn't been used in a while. Remember, you're in a different timeline. You're in a different dimension. Upon muttering this, doubt enters my mind. Hiyoshi said this place was on a shifted time axis, but even so, each section just feels too different. The Fish of the World booth where the first strange phenomenon occurred. The Jellyfish booth and tunnel tank, looking back on them in order, they each felt like their own distinct time period. The countless fish that decayed, the immensely entrancing beauty. With each new facility I entered, the look changed. Ridiculous. There can't be. I start to say, then shake my head. I don't know how many things I had thought impossible have come to pass here. This crazy theory, perhaps. Never mind. I have to find Himeno. Pushing my doubts to the edge of my mind, I head down the stairs for the guest seating towards the stage. Huh? This is... About halfway to the stage, I find a booklet on top of a seat that is thick enough to contain about 50 pages. Montine Aquarium Guidebook is written on the front cover. That's all I see, just the name and nothing else. This has a map inside. Why are we talking to ourselves? Well, sometimes you just gotta hear the sound of a voice. I suddenly realize as I am finishing my sentence. Since Himeno has our map, this is definitely going to come in handy. Might as well read more, I mean, it makes sense. Thumbing through the pages, I see it has an introduction to Montine Aquarium. Other than that, there are bits of trivia about the fish on display, like that the pirarucu is the largest freshwater fish, or that orca communicate using ultrasonic waves. Something tells me this map is not going to be as invasive as old map. I want to read through this later. But I don't want to part with the guidebook. I detach the map from it. Not knowing what might happen, I come to the conclusion that I don't want to carry anything bulky. And a 50-page guidebook would definitely weigh me down too much, apparently. I couldn't roll it up and beat somebody with the end of it. Or anything like that, could I? No, not. It could not be an improvised weapon in any way. Okay. Suppressing my desire to sit down and read it, I return the guidebook to the seat. Staff room. There might be someone there. On weeknights, they hold the adult-targeted Montine... excuse me, folks. Montine Aquarium Exploratory Tour. It supposedly shows off the other side of Montine Aquarium. For that expedition, pathways that customers are normally unaware of are printed in the guidebook. According to the map, there appears to be a staff waiting area. It seems they don't stop there on the exploratory tour, but the place itself is printed on the map. If I go there, someone may be there. Looking at the map, I wonder which way I should go as I follow the route. It seems there are two paths to the staff room. The first path is through the passageway I went through earlier. The other seems to be an underground passage connected to the inside of the shed on the stage. Even though it's labeled as underground, it's more accurate to say it's one floor down. I still don't know how Hiyoshi-san is, so I think I should take the latter path. I'm scared after all. Himeno, where are you? Lowering my defenses, those weak-hearted words well up inside me. I mumble them as I step onto the stage. Following those words, anxiety descends upon me. I am right here. No way, Himeno! I doubt that voice, which seemed ready and waiting on me, was an illusion. No way, that's cruel, Mayu. Himeno! I can hear Himeno's voice, but I can't see her. Where is she? I think as I glance about the stage. Himeno is nowhere to be found. That's right, inside the shed. When the shed at the edge of the stage enters my line of sight, I head for it at double speed. The floor is wet enough that it seems I should slip, but somehow I hold on and move forward. The inside of the set is as if a waiting area and a warehouse had been combined into one room. The fishy stench is probably from the stains from food used during shows. In the past, I had seen a fish thrown to a sea lion that cut a ball with its nose. A fish? Sea lion shows I have, they throw like 3 or 4 fish at a time. Himeno not looking so good. Himeno? Himeno! At the edge of the shed, in a plain metal chair against the wall, Himeno is leaning against the back in what appears to be a state of total exhaustion. I have so much to say to you, Himeno, because Seeing her face, any thoughts of our argument are completely blown out of existence. Words have found no form or forever pushed away. The fact that she is all right, all on its own, makes me happy. It's fine. First of all, calm down. Yeah, the evil boots. The world-dominating boots. Himeno, what's wrong? Mayu, don't make that face. There's nothing to worry about. I have a lot of things to say to Himeno, but my words get caught in my throat. Seeing Himeno breathing heavily, my own pulse quickens. As I stand there, forgetting how to breathe, Himeno lays a hand on my chest. Even when she had a cold, Himeno would still come to school with a smile on her face. When she got injured at a club, she wouldn't get time off from gym class. That's why, even in this aquarium, I thought somewhere in my heart that Himeno would be fine. If only we could reunite, surely she'd lead with a smile. We'd go home side by side. That had been my hope. I'm sorry, Mayu. I don't think I can make it. It's so easy for Himeno's soft complaints to punch me right in the heart. With just that one phrase, I dropped to my knees in front of her. Mayu, get up. I won't. No, because... I shake my head at Himeno's words. I can't remain standing, not while seeing my precious friend like this and hearing her frail voice. Every time Himeno speaks, she spews white nematodes from her mouth. I'm sure she can just walk this off. I'm not sure if she's aware of it or not, but thin creatures that look like mealworms wriggle at her feet. Yeah, she just needs to walk this off, that's all it is. With a clatter, Himeno seems as if she might fall from the chair. I support Himeno from under her arm, propping her up. Thank you. Don't thank me, Himeno. What happened? Himeno's body is hot, the same as when I had my 104-degree fever. No, higher than that. I'm glad I got to see you again, but I didn't want you to see me in this Unable to finish what she was saying, Himeno coughs up several nematodes along with some spit. I don't want to see it. Not necessarily because it's weird or disgusting. I just don't want to see Himeno this way. Himeno, let's go to the hospital. We'll eat ice cream, alright? That's probably impossible now. Hearing the words that have fallen instinctively from my mouth, Himeno smiles back at me. Even as I ignore the lie in Himeno's smile, I still become aware of it. It's not impossible. Mayu. It's not impossible. I'll take you to a hospital, okay? So let's go. Thanks. That you feel that way fills me up. Yeah, nematodes are slightly different than mealworms. This is a thing, yes. It's not my feelings. Got it, Himeno? Can you stand? Don't overdo it, okay, Mayu? That's right. I wanted to apologize to you, Mayu. In an attempt to lend her my shoulder, I take Himeno's arm, but she quickly brushes me off. Himeno's hands are shaking. Despite this, she reaches into her pocket and pulls out the keychain. That's... Yeah, by the way, when I thought back to when I picked it up, it most likely wasn't yours, Mayu. I'm such an idiot. You're not. It was because I didn't listen to all to what you said. Because I was so convinced you had dropped it, Mayu. Thinking back... She's repeating the same thing over and over. Himeno's consciousness must be getting hazy. Every time Himeno gets choked up, she vomits up viscous sputum and lively bugs. Even so, I can't look away from Himeno. I get the feeling that if I don't look at her face, I will never again see her smile. I don't think I'm being overdramatic or anything of the sort, since I had never heard of someone throwing up bugs. Here, you take it, Mayu. This keychain? Yeah, there seems to be no mistake someone dropped it. That's why, give it back to them. Yep, blood coming out the eyes. I'm not sure if that was there in previous frames or not, but yeah, she's bleeding from the eyes now. Yeah, she just walked this off. Walked this right off. Give it back. We're going back together, right? Mom Team Aquarium is small. Surely you'll find them right away, won't we? Jeez, you idiot. Can't you tell by looking? There's no way I can go home. No, don't, Himeno. If you say that, it'll come to pass. Himeno places the keychain in my palm and softly places her hands once more on my shoulders. She moves her hands from there to the back of my head, and with a light, feather-like sensation, she pulls me close to her. Hime, no. Mayu, get home, no matter what. The hug lasts only a few seconds, then Himeno lightly pushes me away. I couldn't take it if I infected you. Just leave me here. Ugh. Right as the end of her sentence fades away, her head flops forward. No way, no way! Himeno's body, with her eyes shut and not even one fingertip moving, is hot. Even so, Himeno won't turn her smile my way. She won't respond to my voice. No way, there's just no way. Without a second thought, I hold Himeno. She said I might get infected, but that doesn't matter to me. Having welled up inside her mouth, nematodes crawl out about Himeno's puffed up lips. Experiencing feelings of intense denial, I wipe away a nematode and crush it. A murky green liquid remains on my finger. I quickly rub it off on the floor. She's moving? With her chest so close to mine, I can feel a pulse. I don't think that's a pulse. No mistake, it is a heartbeat. Pulling away from Himeno, my trembling hand somehow lands on her left breast. Having sunk into the softness, I can definitely feel a pulse going ba-bump, ba-bump. Written by a man, people. She's alive. Himeno, I'm so glad. Just like that, I forget about rubbing off the filth and sit down. Even with the bugs getting into her body, as long as she is alive, I think it could work out somehow. I won't even consider the possibility of it not working out. But I can't think of a concrete way to save Himeno. Within my completely blank mind, there's only anxiety and fear. Having slumped more than sat down, a third person's voice reaches my ears.
Okay,
anisakis, and pseudoterra nova, philometra that aren't supposed to infect humans. I wonder what exactly could cause something like this to happen. If the situation wasn't what it was, I would immediately preserve some of them in a petri dish. What? From behind me, a cold voice interrupts my thoughts. In contrast with the feverish Himeno, that voice clings coolly to the nape of my neck. It's a woman's voice I've never heard. It's a pity I can't collect this precious sample. I don't have the luxury of time right now. I must find that child quickly. My, what a cute girl. What is it? Might you have come to the aquarium to have fun with your friend? Aquarium? This is Montine Aquarium, right? That's right, me and Himeno? So this girl, she's called Himeno-chan, then. This woman looks to be in her 30s, her blue eyeshadow leaving quite the impression. Her appearance, coupled with her calm manner of speaking, both tell me she must be quite mature. Her light-colored hair is collected into an updo, and her suit is impeccably chosen. Okay, those are those are like hoops behind her, okay. I thought it was like the beginnings of skeletal wings or something they might have put in this game, who knows. Those clothes, could you be an aquarium staff member? Oh, let's ruin another name, shall we? Yes, I am Sajanuma Riko. At this aquarium I am, I suppose, a representative of the director? Like a vice director? A little bit different. It would take some time to explain. More importantly, you should move away from Himeno-chan. Eh? The woman called Himeno by name with a coquettish tone. It gives me the impression of being very forced. Crossing her arms as she looks down at me, the woman narrows her eyes. Would it be easier for you if I use the word infection? You have a wound on your leg, don't you? It's as if their fertility is intensified, meaning there are probably eggs amongst all that as well. What? She doesn't appear to be dead, but it's only a matter of time. You can no longer save Himeno-chan. That's... Please, wait a second. It's fine to leave her like that. After I finish my business, I'll take her with me as a sample. The hard G. Sag? The corners of Saganuma-san's mouth widen as she says this. She's a perfectly nice lady. No ulterior motives going on whatsoever. She in no way cares more about examining a dead body than saving people. My fear of this woman is even greater than my anger at Himeno being referred to as a sample. Even though someone right in front of her eyes might die, she's smiling. How in the world can she make that face? Because I can't understand. Saganuma Reiko-chan seems terrifying to me. Please wait. If you're a member of the staff, then can't you take me to this building's first aid room or call an ambulance or something since Himeno's alive? Seems you care for Himeno-chan a great deal. So try to imagine this. If you die because of her, think of Himeno-chan. Think about how Himeno-chan would feel. Himeno's alive. Please don't say something like that. I'm begging you. Please save Himeno. I'm not a doctor. It's not possible. Moreover, I don't think the rescue workers would want to respond to such a hopeless call. Saganuma-san says this bluntly in a cruel voice. Her voice is colder than the first time I heard it, like water that's frozen over. She can't be saved anymore. Every time those words come from her mouth, my pulse grows louder and quicker. My blood is rushing through me fast enough for my veins to be worn down from within. That's not good enough. Please, save her. Please save Himeno! Before I knew it, I'm facing her and pleading. However, my desperate pleas are being shattered by her cruel smile. I don't like disobedient children. I also have work to do. Important work that matters. You have work? This place isn't normal. Isn't that something a staff member should get? After fear makes a lap through me, I push aside my emotions. Leaping over my fear and anxiety towards this woman, I wholeheartedly just want to save Himeno. Not normal? Whatever do you mean? As aquariums also serve as research institutions, the situation itself isn't normal, now is it? I don't understand at all. That's enough. No matter how much time I spend here, it won't help. If you wish to join me, you are free to do so. Free to join you? Saganuma-san, aren't you staff here? Are you saying you don't know anything about this aquarium being filled with nothing but phenomena? I don't understand a word of what you're saying. Are these good things? I'm telling you I'm going now. If you wish to die along with her, then just sit staring about like that. Later, I'll study you in full as well, though one sample is more than enough. I shudder as a chill runs up my spine. I am finally able to understand that this isn't a joke, that she is saying she sincerely doesn't care about whether Himeno lives or dies. Wait, please! You've wasted enough of my time. I must hurry up and find that child. The last bit of what Saganuma-san says is inaudible, and she run out from the small room on the stage. Being neither harmful nor harmless, that's the type of person she is. Thinking she could point me down the one path that leads away from Himeno and I dying together with just one phrase, I am thrust back down to rock bottom. Himeno can't be saved. That single phrase bounces around my head numerous times. No. Turning it over in my head with such frequency, the truth Saganuma-san stated has become engraved upon my heart. I can no longer hear the click-clack sound of her high heels. Instead, what resonates is the sound of drops falling from my eyes. If you're having doubts, then just die. Huh? Who? It is a girl's voice, much younger than Saganuma-san's. Around the same age as me, in fact. I turn towards the voice, coming a short distance away from holding Himeno. Ah, you again. A slender girl who's a little taller than me, with eyes a slightly different color than Saganuma-san's cold eyes, looks down at me scornfully. I must compare everyone to Saganuma-san right now because that is the last face I've seen, and I have memory of a goldfish. Apparently. Her long hair is tied back, dangling behind her like a tail. She is a bit different from Himeno, but is still a girl in fashionable attire. I watch her with cautious interest as she glares at me. What's this all of a sudden? Who knows? I'm just annoyed with you since I hate people who are so wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? You think you can just show up and know how I'm feeling? I don't know. I'm not interested. I feel irritated at this girl who knows nothing of my circumstances showing up with all these complaints. To think that Saganuma-san left, and now this. She's directing her futile impatience at me as well. The girl is calm, but speaking fast. Hearing such a tone, I can't go on without saying something back. If you're not interested, then why did you speak to me? More importantly, you haven't gotten swept up in anything dangerous, have you? Who knows? What's with that answer? Just say what you want to say. How mean. When this girl started speaking to me, it raised hope somewhere inside of me. I briefly hold out hope that she's talking to me because she knows some way I can save Himeno. That's why I begin to feel something more than just irritation towards this girl who has come to kick me while I'm down. That girl's going to get eaten up by bugs and die, right? But parasites aren't all that quick or efficient. What are you... Because it's this Montine aquarium, she will die. If it were me, that's what I would think. Then what are you saying? My heart begins to beat faster at her words. Now I regret placing so much hope in this girl. Nevertheless, from her way of speaking, could it be that if you get out of here, there may be a way to cure her? If it comes down to crying and dying, I would fight back rather than giving in. Huh. I'm gonna call you Toko. Cure her. Just now you said cure her. Really? But that staff member earlier said she could no longer be saved. I don't know. There's no guarantee she can be saved. But the one who said she couldn't be saved was an employee of the aquarium, right? Not a doctor. Not a doctor. She seemed like she knew a lot about parasites, but sure enough, that woman was not a doctor. She said so herself. Also, the girl said something previously that caught my attention. Earlier, you said this Montine aquarium, right? What is this place? If you know, then tell me. Don't take me for a fool. But I don't know. Since this is an aquarium where nothing but dangerous things happen, I want to know how to get out of here. I can't save Himeno. Which path you take is completely up to you. I don't have any more time to worry about other people. I'm just saying if it were me, I wouldn't quit till I was dead. Upon making her blunt assertion, the girl heads for the innermost part of the shed. Somehow, in contrast to the employee earlier, she had entered from the side of the stage. If you don't have time, then why are you encouraging me? Encouraging me. Upon saying those words, I get an awkward feeling. The cutting assertion she made in a blunt tone and the words she said to me weren't exactly kind. However, I found them kind in the moment. It isn't that I can't save her, nor is it guaranteed that I can. Having received a small amount of hope, my tears have stopped. I told you already, I was just getting annoyed. Yeah, I'm definitely going to call you Toko. Without looking back, the girl walks away. Sitting on the ground, huddled close with Himeno, I think over the two possibilities in my mind. Since it's unlikely that I can save her, should I just stay here with her a second longer? Or should I believe the girl's words and escape from this danger-filled aquarium? Two possibilities balancing on a scale. Gee, the last time we had a choice where, staying looked like just admitting to ourselves we were gonna die, that was the correct decision. So because I just saved here, yes, that's best. The possibility that I might be able to save her is low, isn't it? It isn't zero, but it's close to it. I can't carry her around the aquarium with me, so I'll definitely have to leave Himeno here in this shed. In that case, there's no guarantee I can get back here. With things like the rupture at the jellyfish booth and Hiyoshi-san's sudden change, the dangers present in Montine Aquarium are innumerable. If I die along the way, it'll be what you call a dog's death. Separated from Himeno, the both of us dead. No, I want us to be together. Still squatting, I hold Himeno even tighter. Her feverish body occasionally chokes up, then Himeno vomits out several nematodes. Several parasites squirm at the base of my throat. Ah, that's not good. It's alright. It's okay. No matter what, it's okay. As long as I'm with Himeno. I have no idea how much time has passed. I no longer have a sense of time, but not more than an hour could have passed. My body is no longer my own. The depths of my body have been corroded with fever, and I no longer have any feeling in my hands or feet. I can no longer feel the softness and warmth of embracing Himeno. My vision is filled with countless lines. It feels as if something is actually crawling on my eyeballs. This is my body at the moment. The lines covering my vision are probably all the same as the bugs eating away at Himeno's body. But this is fine. Dog holding coffee cup. As long as I can be with Himeno. Before I realize it, my own consciousness has melted away. I can no longer see Himeno's smiling face. Is that love? Nematode buddies forever. And we get Chibi Himeno. We are now nematodes. Forever and always. The parasites totally love us. See the end. Man, there are a lot of endings. "27 bad endings and 4 good ones." My God, this is a choose-your-own-adventure book. My God. Okay. Yeah, I need to start dying more, apparently. Okay. It is about 15 minutes till midnight-ish. And yeah, we've only started. I guess I know what I'm playing next Sunday. I think we need to continue this next Sunday because this is absolutely hilarious for so many wrong reasons. God, the description of when the guy got decapitated, and suddenly she's explaining it like his head turned into a window. God, some of the phrasing in here. Can't wait to see how many more forms we take. You know, this is... Speaking of choose-your-own-adventure books, the UFO 5440, that's what this is reminding me of. Yeah, we're definitely continuing this next week, because it's hilarious for all the wrong reasons. So anyway, hopefully this doesn't... Hopefully this is actually saved. Hopefully it remembers which endings we've actually hit. A UFO 5440. It's a choose-your-own-adventure book. I think that's the one. Yeah, we are going to be here a while. We have something to entertain us for the next few weeks at least. You can totally blame Maverinthia for this one. Anyway, yeah. I am going to call this a stream, call this a finished stream for tonight. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for hanging out and chat and talking with me. I will see you guys next Saturday for the next bit of Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls. And yes, a warning that I will repeat when I start the stream. There's a very bad part of Ultra Despair Girls coming up. The worst part of the game as far as content goes. And I'm going to warn everybody when, I'm going to warn everybody we're probably going to hit it fairly early in the stream. And I will give everybody the choice of whether you want me to cut the stream for that bit until I get past it, or if you want to stomach it out. But yeah, I will see you back next Saturday for that. And next Sunday, oh yeah, we're going for more of this. Oh, this is glorious for so many bad reasons. Anyway, take care, folks. I will see you back next time for more.